back to Friday night football here at the MCGs. We get set to go. Melbourne versus Adelaide. Tony Jones, boundary side.
Well, ideal conditions, Eddie, for Friday night football, that's for sure. Temperature hovering around the 14-15 degree mark at the moment. Not the biggest crowd we've seen. The snow might have arrived on the hills a little earlier this year, Ed.
Oh, I don't think that's the case, Tony, having a crack at those Melbourne supporters.
Funny,
they're staunch, aren't they, Gary?
Oh, it's a very funny original joke.
No, they're still in Queensland, Tony. The warm weather. Ready to go on Friday night football. Dr. Peter Larkins is down there as well.
Good evening, Ed. Just the late change for Adelaide, unexpected. Michael Dowdy, who developed a bad cold just yesterday. Had the flu shot last week, got the bad cold this week. He's been replaced. Of course, Paul Wheatley missing for Melbourne. And Shannon Motlop just can't get going, did a hamstring last week. He's also out for Melbourne.
Thompson into it already. Let's get stuck into it with Dennis Committee, and welcome to Doom as well.
There you go. Thanks, Ed. A couple of Fraser Gehrings down in the square, and now we've got a free kick, and it's going to Melbourne.
Against Scott Thompson for high contact on Clint Bizzle.
White to Uze. Inside the centre square, goes inside the forward 50. Davey up, spilt the mark. Good one. McGregor. Now Burton. Kicks it out very wide. John Cock waits a while, takes the mark, plays on immediately. McLeod on the overlap, goes down towards half forward. The mark is taken by Thompson. Thompson wants to go, intent on drawing a man, kicks inside the forward 50. Loose at the back, Ferguson on his knees to Miller, to Brown. Brown in trouble, slung. Now an opportunity, Henschel off the boot. It trickles goal with McDonald, heads for the boundary line. And failed to find it.
What a great tackle by Matner to open the game with.
Brad Miller lined up at fullback on Scott Welsh.
Thompson, a former Demon, of course. Hudson, too far out to score. He's 60 by the time he kicks it. Pops it up to the square. Henschel's the man. Three Demons fly. No one front and square. Henschel has another go. Crows into attack. Thrown to the ground. Umpire letting it go. Perry's in there. Edwards lurking with intent. He'll get his chance now-ish. No, it doesn't pop out. We'll have a bounce.
Now, in all Neil Danaher's pre-game planning, I'm not sure whether he would have planned for Andrew McLeod to be playing in the defensive goal square on Aaron Davey.
No, you wouldn't have thought that would come up early, would you? In thoughts? As Hudson does the ruck work. White from behind gives it a good slap. It's knocked out wide, though. Welsh didn't go onto the left boot. The kick forward from Burton. It might come off. No, it doesn't. Just missed the target. Rivers gets it at the Bizzle. Now they're starting to go. The handball comes out from Maloney. Out to Uze, and Melbourne are clear for the moment.
Close to the boundary line, over the top half. Content to thump it out.
This is Welsh and Miller behind play just as they start up.
All of it interesting. Boundary throw in on the wing. From behind White. Down to McDonald. With some time, as it turns out. Has a bounce. Goes beyond the wing. Inside the forward 50. In from the side. Tawney did brilliantly. Plays onto Rashudo. Swings it out wide to right half back. Rutten has it now. Short one is on to Goodwin. Thought about it. Doesn't go.
Playing on David Neitz. Rutten.
Conditions just great for footy. McLeod has it right on the wing. Vital game for both these clubs tonight. Bit of a cliche, but both come in with identical records, 4-2. Here's John Cock.
They roll back 2 metres, Adam.
Here's the umpire, McBurney, Schmidt and Woodcock in charge tonight, and they chip further afield, this time to Thompson. His third possession. Burton on his chest. Well, they've done it by degrees along that wing. Burton 60 metres from home. Henschel comes on the lead. Now he's got it.
4 short passes in a row coming around from that wing.
Precision.
Worked it well, didn't it?
All presenting to the footy too. Melbourne giving a shot at it. McDonald on Burton. Well, Burton was able to get to the goal square. Could be a worrying sign.
With interest, the way these two teams have played over the last 4 games. Both teams, one's had 301 long kicks and the other's had 300 long kicks. So the only thing they vary on is short kicks to handball ratio.
Henschel has put in 6 goals for this season. This will test him hard against the boundary line in the right full forward pocket. Off 3 steps. And puts it out of bounds in the opposite pocket. And Perry knew all about it straight away, even if they were trying to con the goal umpire. He was standing there with his hands above his head.
Indicating that they are hitting the target by foot in these early minutes. Adelaide have taken 10 marks, Melbourne yet to take one. This is their first mark coming up.
And there it is, and it goes to that man Ferguson. So Ferguson in the back pocket for Melbourne, who haven't really got going here. Gary, what's going on there? One-on-one, the Adelaide
big
Crows at the
matchup,
moment.
real hard matchups all over the ground, which is a good thing.
And then breaking for the short passes. Big pack flies. Burton from behind. Got it at the ground level. Had a second go at it. Bizzle picked his pocket in the end. Got it out to McDonald. Now a chance for Melbourne to start to run. The ball spills out to Brown. He thumps it inside 50. Up it goes towards Neitz. Was he held? Geez, they've relaxed that rule in the last couple of weeks, haven't they? Davey couldn't get his kick away. Neitz did it magnificently well and kicks a point.
Sure.
The bounce beat him, but gee, he did well.
And a little fortunate McLeod, the contest there, he left Aaron Davey, who just stayed front and square. He just wasn't able to grab it cleanly. So it's a bit of a risk, a calculated risk by Neil Craig to have this bloke playing on a half-back line or deep in defence.
McLeod to Shirley. He's at centre half-back. Call his play on. McLeod pushes up from the square, has a bounce. Inside the centre square now, goes to half-forward. Thompson coming across, he's been busy. Gathers the bouncing ball, gathered immediately by Bizzle and taken down, and holding the ball is the call.
He looked over his shoulder and tried to out-corner his opponent, Bizzle, then. That's deemed prior opportunity.
Yeah, Robertson effectively becomes the centre half forward with Miller playing deep. McGregor's on him, so apart from Neitz, no real big, tall marking option forward.
Oh, it's going to be a wonderful matchup as we wait for this short pass to hit Robertson's chest. Is Rashudo straight head-to-head with Brad Green in the midfield?
Robertson on the wing then. Melbourne lead by the only score in the game. Behind, inside the forward 50. Hart with the judgment, spilt the mark. Goodwin got it out. McGregor gave it to Rutten. Now Rashudo on the overlap. Interesting kick. A poor one, really. It bounces up towards the wing. Coming to meet it there was McDonald. Looping hand pass over the top. Green taken down by Edwards. Got the kick at the second attempt. I think advantage was paid. Out of defence. The Crows through Rashudo. Got it to Johncock, who dropped the mark but recovered pretty well. Fends off Uze. Flat-looking kick inside the forward 50. Coming up to meet it was Miller. Williams got the hand pass away. Now they combine. Bizzle got it to Uze. Chips up towards the wing, and McDonald is running.
There he's now moving it forward. Green, who was dragged off the ball before without getting his boot to it. That also has been a free kick in recent times. But McDonald kicks it forward again. Davey the high flyer. Neitz left to do the roving. Look at this one. As awkward as you like was Rutten going for the ball, but they've done enough. Rashudo, who kicked the torpedo pass earlier, flicks it back to Tawney. The ball comes out from Bassett. Now they can move. Burton's got it at half-back flank. He's got runners up ahead. One of them is the Evergreens Ben Hart on centre wing. He kicks, and smothered was the kick as it goes forward. It wasn't, no. It thought it was touched off hands. Umpire said play on, and the mark's been taken by Perry. And he will kick from just outside 50.
Well, Burton was out on his own on the other side of the wing. His opponent's had 6 touches, James McDonald, early in this game, and he was just sitting out on the other side for a rebound. Was in a heap of space, got the overlap going, and that's when a defender starts to get very nervous. Ian
Perry's kicked 10 goals, 6 this season, 76 goals, 57. As you can see, 40% accuracy from this position. He comes in, and he's tugged it away to the right-hand side. Trying to go for the extra distance, 3 for a point. It's a point apiece. We've been going 7 3/4 minutes, and as you can see, 13 1/4 left on the first term clock.
What would you say? A little low-key at the moment.
Yeah.
He was there to bring it in. They're playing the zone. They're a combination of the two, really. They've manned up in a couple of areas. Here's Bell in the back pocket. Short one. White has to stretch. Surrounded by Crows. Plays on back to Bell, pushing up from the back pocket. Short one, element of danger there. Miller made it look okay. Too slick back to Bell. Now they've got a problem across half back. Bell played it okay to Green, back to Bell. Runs inside the centre square, goes down towards half forward. Coming up there was Neitz. Awkward half volley. Hart falling to the ground, did brilliantly. Rutten away to Goodwin. Goodwin from half back to half forward, and Thompson again.
This bloke's giving Clint Bizzle the stick.
Against his old team. Thompson down towards the pocket. Perry let it bounce. And eventually was held without it. No, he hand passed, didn't he? I thought he hand passed.
I think he missed it, Dennis.
Clumsy.
Let's have a look. And there we go. And
he got it. Interesting. Johnston goes short to Brown.
We'll see the reverse angle on that one. But anyway, the umpire thought he dropped it. As it comes out the back now. Rivers. Let's see if Melbourne gets something going here. Rivers and Brown, the Yarra special, as it comes up towards the wing position. Oh, he's fantastic. I love Brock McLean. He was never going to miss out on body contact there at all. Let's have a look at this one, boys. Did he get a contact here?
Yeah, he touches it ever so slightly, but that's what he tried to do, not get it far away from it.
There's more in that than Fraser Geary.
Good effort, Bassett, and good effort, McLean.
It was fantastic. Bassett with eyes for the ball running in was great and didn't give away the free kick. That was fantastic. Here's a chance now for Bizzle. He got a handle off it, but it was gone because Goodwin got hold of it. He kicks it long up towards the square. Melbourne get back. Ferguson was the third man in, was fantastic. Took it to the boundary line. We'll have a throw in the dark pocket here at the MCG on Friday Night Football. As you can see, it's a point apiece.
He was very fortunate not to get a hold there. Ferguson laid virtually a tackle on his opponent, Perry's. Umpire Schmidt was just facing the other way, even though he's only about 10 metres away.
Boundary throw in. White from behind, beaten by Hudson, hooking it down into space. Ferguson taken front on by John Cock. No chance to get rid of it. Just moments ago on the other side wing, Bassett was wonderful too, going back into that confrontation with McLean, running with the flight of the football. Knows no other way. Here's the bounce. Hudson. Always dangerous in that situation. Backed himself. Didn't quite control it. Uze off the ground. Welsh on the angle. Smothered off the boot. Well, smothered about 5 metres away and deflected across the line. So behind, and with that, Adelaide rushed to the lead.
Yes, absolutely. Double their score, in fact. There's Uze from full back. It's a bit lacklustre at the moment. Melbourne fans, Gary, not the loudest in league football, let's be honest about it, but there's plenty here in number tonight.
They have nothing to yell about at the moment, either side, really.
It would be difficult playing in front of a pink crowd, too.
The kick forward, this will get him going. Nice mark taken from McDonald. That was great play. Now, Melbourne start to move forward. Maloney's kick out towards half forward. McLean got it down to Rivers. Rivers with the handball around to Bizzle, who sidesteps. Nice, there's a trip there. He'll take the free kick. Now the advantage is paid. It goes to Maloney. The thumping kick up towards Meeks. One-on-one. No, marked in from the side from Robertson. Give the assist to Meeks there, who held the traffic back, and Robertson flew in beautifully. Here's the trip. Oh, nice little back heel there.
Not sure it was great umpiring then either. He was very late with the advantage call. This is the strength of Russell Robertson. You just wonder whether Miller playing at centre-half forward, he can do this more often, Robertson. He can float in as the third man up. Just the #1 target makes it a bit harder.
18 goals, 6. He's been a wonderful kicker goal this year. Russell Robertson, he comes in, and finally we get a goal on the board after nearly 12 minutes in the first term. It goes to Russell Robertson.
18 goals this season, including 5 last week. This time last season, he'd booted 10. Hudson doing well into the path of Thompson. Thompson kicks it out towards right half forward. Pitches in no man's land. Goodwin leads in the race, but running out of space. And not a bad result for both teams right there. As they reload, under 10 minutes till quarter time. And there's the bench. Heffernan, Johnson, and Johnston, along with Godfrey.
Thompson and Bizzle, Gary, they both got their match high stats for both sides. Bizzle's got 6 and make that 7 now, and Thompson's got 5.
Yeah, well, you've got to make him accountable, Clint Bizzle. He reads the play as well as anyone in the competition. He got hurt a little bit last week against Fremantle, and Adelaide would probably not be too upset with Thompson finding that much footy.
And Thompson's gone onto the ball now, just having a change and giving Simon Goodwin a rest.
Brown. Up he goes. A little more Russell-mania.
That is a great mark. That's just pure power and leap.
Short one, concedes and goes back to Uze. Amazing player, amazing talent, Russell Robertson. Here's Bell at centre-half back, down towards half forward. McLean's in front. That's a strong grab. Continues on. The momentum took him in that direction. Feeds it off. Ferguson pulls it back towards the middle. Crow's got a spoil. Brownlow gets the crumb. 40 metres from goal. Hooks it across the body. Bacon square bounces through. Melbourne get their second.
His first goal of season 2005, and gee, loved it too. Off the pack, he had to beat his captain for the ball, and it slammed it on the boot. And look at that bounce straight through the middle.
He's up on the wing, Eddie. Jeff Farmer kicked 7 goals on him last week in defence, so probably enjoying a bit of freedom up on the wing, just less pressure.
Certainly enjoying a lot more than last week. Up goes White, gets the tap. Heffernan's on the ground. It comes out to White again. Just toe poke out there in the end. Didn't have a whole lot on it. Brown comes to meet the ball, does it well. His teammates know to get out of the way. He shinned that one forward. It was an awkward looking kick, and as a result it's going to turn over, but they get it back through Green, who handballs over the top and decides to give it back a second time. So the kick comes forward from Shirley, and that was a bad turnover. Skipworth's got it inside 50, and he's kicked 8 goals, 3 including 4 last week, Hayden Skipworth. So he's a pretty good kick at goal, and that was very, very ordinary play from both sides there in the centre corridor.
What they will do, Melbourne, is take a risk to try and keep the ball in the centre corridor. Now, the risk didn't pay off, but they won possession, so they were in a good position, and then Brad Green just panicked a bit, handballed the wrong way. Had he gone the other way, he had players running inside again.
Skipworth kicked 4 last week. He's been on the ground for 30 seconds. How easy is this, he thinks? From 48 metres.
Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful kick right through the middle, and the Crows get there first through Skipworth.
And kicked that one. As Ed said, 4 last week. 3 came in 5 minutes just before half-time against the Kangaroos. So he's enjoying kicking goals at the moment. Shirley emerges with the football, goes down towards half-forward. Skipworth once more, cleverly to Thompson. Thompson 55 metres out off target. Perry goes back. Couldn't reach it. Adelaide suddenly looking better. They trail by 4.
So often we hear in league footy, somebody will make a call on a team and they'll say the B-grade players, the younger kids under, say, 22, they need to make the next step. Well, I'll tell you what, Hayden Skipworth is a classic example of that type of kid who is in transition, making that next step up.
Ferguson kicks in. Over the top, Henshaw got a first on it. Skipworth, a little bit too slick initially. Gets it back from Burton. Forward of the wing, kicks inside the forward 50. Perry set himself, didn't touch the football. Brown gets the crumb, pulls it back towards the wing. All Crows. Robbo will need to come. He's outnumbered 4-1 and beaten. Thompson goes back towards the middle. McLeod released into space. Goodwin is on for the short one. Bypasses him. Goes to Biglands, who can turn around and kick a long goal 40 metres out. He got one like this last week. Not this time.
You do wonder the move of McLeod onto Davey. Looks like he's intimidated, Aaron Davey. Looks like he might be in a bit of awe of Andrew McLeod.
You know what's happened though? They've tried to pull McLeod back to the goal square. He's come out now, but what it's really done, Aaron Davey actually puts fear into opposition backmen when they have the ball. They think he's going to run them down, but when he went to the goal square, you saw the Crows hatching the ball, working out what to do with it. There was no pressure on them.
And of course it also means that McLeod becomes the man through the central corridor that they can kick to, as we've seen on 3 occasions already tonight.
Well, he's run off a couple of times, and that is something the players don't do on Aaron Davey. So you just wonder whether his mind might be thinking, gee, I'm on Andrew McLeod all of a sudden instead of hunting the footy like he's done so effectively.
Yep. Andrew McLeod, what a wonderful player. Of course, his news out today that his flatmate is about to become a dad. Leighton and Beck Cartwright.
Good on him.
Good on him. Good luck. As the ball comes out now.
Go over it.
Here we go. Perry tries to crash through. Heffernan did well. Now he's in trouble. The leg scissors applied to him. Then that was one from the old days of World Championship Wrestling more than these days of WrestleMania.
Yes, Wallaby Bob would have been down giving it the 1-2 count. Never 3. We've got this bounce just outside the 50. Biglands backhands it down. Johnston goes after it. Again outnumbered Thompson. Burton, he's been handy as well from 75 metres out. Sets it up. Perry tries to work his marker out of it. In the meantime, Welsh almost the mark in front. Uze tackled by Welsh. And a ball up about 35 metres out. Melbourne by 3. Rashudo taking a breather.
Nathan Brown enjoying the wing. Just that earlier ball that Johnson went after. He started in front. 3 LA Crow players ran past him.
White knocks it down. Williams under pressure. Kicks to midfield. In front, Bell played it pretty well. Coming through McLean against the flow. Taking it back towards half-back eventually. Slaps it out to Johnston, who started on the bench. Going to ground to Bizzle. Bizzle from half-back. Not 15. Heffernan has it. Hot football. He drives it to midfield. Didn't really look. Skipworth, growing in confidence, takes the mark. Robbo grabbed him a step too early because I think he was going.
He's Brock McLean has given Heffernan an absolute bait because he was 30 metres clear. If he just had have opened his eyes another, well, 5 degrees to the right, Melbourne were clear, weren't they, Gary?
Yeah, rightfully so. Poor decisions.
Yeah, hefty bait. As the ball comes down towards the 50. In front, Burton missed it. Uze, clever kick with the outside of the boot. Off hands. Needs a half chance. Missed it on the way through. Rutten has it. Breaking for him is Goodwin. He can take it and go now. Goodwin looks inside the forward 50. Bassett, my man, on the forward line if you don't mind.
Simon Goodwin loves playing footy against Melbourne. He has averaged 24 touches, 5 inside 50s in the past 5 matches against the Demons, and he started in similar fashion tonight. He's had 5 touches already and such a great user.
He's kicked 1 goal this season, and I think that came in the showdown, so I saw him kick it. And he did celebrate.
Former Melbourne player, of course, Nathan Bassett.
Pushed right up the ground here to take this shot at goal. We're right behind him. Well, he got a fair bit of sock on it, but it's okay. It's good. His second of the season.
So Adelaide back in front, back-to-back goals. They've kicked 2 goals too since Melbourne last scored. Up goes Biglands, he gets the tap. Oh, that was a throw. And from McDonald, Uze on his right boot tries to hoik it forward. It's picked up though by Burton. Dangerous handball, nice hands over McLeod. Coming through from Goodwin again, the danger man. A series of handballs ends up with Skipworth. There we go. That's the implied pressure from Davies. Did it well. Now Melbourne, can they make him pay? Sylvia goes out wide. Mounting something now is McDonald. He has players up the field. He liked that time, McLeod. It hit him on the chest. Now he can kick inside 50. Out comes the big man. Neitz has got it. Good play. And Neitz will line up from just on the 50. Not much of an angle to worry about. And this will be interesting to see how Neitz goes. He likes an early one of confidence. Look at Davies run down from behind. Skipworth just held onto it too long.
It's a great chase, but he did let McLeod out at first. Again, Aaron Davey. But anyway, it ends up with the skipper. He does like to kick the first one and usually indicates what sort of a night he's in for. James McDonald, 9 possessions already.
19 for the season. In comes David Neitz, the captain of the Melbourne Football Club. It's a thumping kick, but it is offline, just across the face of goal and through for a point. His second behind for the evening. 2-2-14 plays 2-4-16 with just under 3 minutes left on the clock for the first term.
First time that the Crows have really, well, even though they were run down then by Aaron Davey, first time they've come totally through the centre square.
Edwards and Bassett combined. Edwards finishing touch. Biglands in midfield. They've moved it quickly. Ferguson will mark on his chest though. The finishing kick not good. Ferguson to the pocket. Well, some confusion there. Miller left it for Brown. Arriving quickly, Welsh feeds it back to McGregor. Missed it completely. Bounced off his chest. Went on to apply a tackle on Johnston. In comes Holland. He missed the football. Now Magna. Another unlikely goal kicker, dragged as he kicked it, floats towards full forward. Rivers over the top, 2 fists away. Opportunity for Melbourne to clear the zone. In desperate trouble, McDonald taken down, given a while to Rivers back to Bizzle. Bizzle storms to the centre square, goes to half forward. Robertson hit the ground running. Robbo's away, pulls it back towards Davey. This will be interesting. McLeod worked in front, could almost got it free. Won the day in any case. Well, it was a short-lived victory because the kick goes directly to Neitz.
They're getting a good rub here for the last couple of minutes, the Demons. Not from free kicks for, but free kicks they haven't had awarded against them.
I agree with you, Jam. I reckon there are a couple there that McDonald down here inside a defensive 50. It wasn't paid. This becomes a really big kick for the night for Melbourne and their captain.
So Neitz steps to the 50, slide angle. It's out to the right. I think it's okay. He likes it.
Adelaide has not lost an opening quarter this season. They've had 18 more scoring shots than their opponents in that period. Well, they're 4 points down in the first term with 1:08 on the clock. Kick up to the forward 50. They're a chance here. John Cock couldn't quite glove it. It spills out the back to Bizzle again. How many see you? Gary is killing it.
He's racking. He's loose at the moment across half back.
That's number 9 for Clint Bizzle, but it's coming back in. Riley got a good handball working. Skipworth waits, has to take it on the half volley. Good tackle, ball up.
Well, it's an unusual one because Scott Thompson and Goodwin at various stages have been his opponent, and Goodwin's had 7 touches and Scott Thompson's also had 8.
Brad Green, good tackle there. Ball up on centre wing. Davey, as you can see, no disposals as yet, but a very good tackle. Led to the last goal. Tawney in all sorts of trouble. 30 seconds, time for both sides here. Bassett stands up in the tackle. McLean gives him a good grab, and we'll have a ball up with 20 seconds on the clock. The Birdman Burton on the bench at the moment with Rashudo, so some good running players having a bit of a break. Last roll of the dice, it comes to Uze. Uze gets it out wide. Green, who's a beautiful kick, just chips it for Davey from behind. McLeod, Neitz crashes through. Great play by Neitz, wants to give it off. He was held up, and that'll be it for the first term. There'll be a free kick coming back, but McLeod will take the free kick. Just missed on the handball again.
You'd say that the third tackle got you. If you got a handball, it was play on.
Okay,
yeah,
there's
you
one.
went to handball, but you didn't hit it with your fist.
That's a good call by umpire Stephen McBurney.
You'd say the Andrew McLeod move has worked. Aaron Davey hasn't touched it and won't touch it for the first quarter. McLeod coming up for his 6th touch.
Gee, they are red, those boots.
They are. One tackle to Davey, which
it was a good tackle. I mean, that's what he's there for, but he's just got to get more dangerous. The McLeod looks like Andrew McLeod looks like he's got a little bit of a spell over him at the minute.
All right, well, we'll see what's inside Coach Craig's head, whether we go onto the ball and have 3 quarters on it. Rashudo's had a good rest on the bench. We'll find out shortly. Melbourne are 3-2-20. Adelaide have conceded their first quarter of the year. 2-4-16. This is Friday Night Football. You're watching AFL on 9. Thompson had a career-high 8 possessions in the first term.
Yeah, 16 times they went inside forward 50. Just that one that came through the centre corridor. But see where they're coming from? And that is because Goodwin, Thompson and Burton off his wing, once they win the ball in the centre, at like centre bounces or bring it from the back line, they fan to those deep half-forward flanks, receive, and they find space there by themselves. Melbourne hog the corridor and own that, and then they find space out there, the Adelaide boys, and from there they're able to bring it in. But it does reduce their possibility of kicking a goal from the corridor.
Yeah, and speaking of hogging the corridor, that's the way Melbourne want to play. They want to own the corridor and come inside at every opportunity. Now, this is a loose ball. Nathan Brown ends on getting the footy now. He can go one of 2 ways. He can go wide or he can come back inside. They will, 80% of the time, look inside rather than go out to the wings. Now, there's some risk associated with that. As you'll see, you don't make the kick and it becomes a 50-50 footy. The good news is they won the ball back from this good handball. He could go 2 ways. Greeny should have gone right to Brown again on the inside. Instead, he went to the outside, which ended up being a turnover and costing them another shot at goal.
And that gets across.
Melbourne led it by 4, started the second term. Friday Night Football. Hudson is doing well. Edwards, Shirley, and now John Cock running down towards centre half forward. The kick is a terrible effort. Could go out of bounds on the full. May have been touched by Perry just inside the line. It was. Tony Jones.
Well, some of the Adelaide pros not happy with the umpiring in that first quarter. Dennis, in particular, Brett Burton had a few words to say on his way to the huddle after he'd finished. Mark Rashudo chimed in.
There were 3 standouts. Perry's hand pass, holding the ball against McDonald, and McLeod interfered with.
Ball one Melbourne's way.
Over the top, White. Bizzle missed it. Goes again. Was he pushed in the back? I think so. He'll get the free kick. Bizzle in the back pocket.
I want to know if Tony's sure that they said something about the umpiring, because Bomber Thompson's been denying it all week. Tony?
No, they weren't looking at the ground dead. They were looking fair and square in their eyes with this one. And good evening to Bomber too.
Bizzle getting plenty of the footy. Sends it shy of the wing. Up in front, Rivers juggles the mark. Well done. The spot to be. Fine young player from South Australia.
Been very good, Adelaide. They're very, very accountable in this situation. They've all got a man. That's why they've got to go long.
Leon's the call. Bypasses the wing. Goes towards half forward. Reaching over the top, McGregor. McLeod. As easy as you like. Goes back towards the half forward line for his team. But coming over the top, Bell. Read it best. Plays on immediately. McLean's away. Runs towards the centre square. Kicks to half forward. Green could have been held there. Knocked away by Hart. Charging in Rashudo. Bassett falls to the ground. Neitz over the top. The umpire calls for it. Repeating the umpires tonight, McBurney, Schmidt and Woodcock.
This is an interesting one. We'll keep an eye on this all night. McLeod at the moment is right on top. He's won a possession again this quarter. Aaron Davey yet to touch it.
White and Hudson. White got the tap. A good one too. McDonald. Uze with the outside of his boot. Kicks it up towards full forward. Oh, nice play. Holland over the top to Brown. He's got 2 now for the season. And the Demons get the first and the second turn.
It's quite amazing, really. Such a multi-skilled player as Adam Uze has no confidence in his right side. Doesn't need to, really, I guess. Maloney comes out of the middle, kicks inside the forward 50, falling to the ground 20, takes the mark on his chest.
This is where Adelaide fan wide from here.
Corny to Hard.
One up the middle here.
Here's Edwards. Across half back. Looking to change direction, goes out very wide. Burton strides out, takes the mark just forward of the wing, looks inside the forward 50. Will go for distance, sends a high ball long down towards the kickoff line. Going back, Ferguson should have punched. Welsh has taken the mark.
Well, Miller went into a relaxed mode there because he saw he was getting some support by Ferguson. He would have assumed he was going to come right over the front and, well, skyscraper mark over them or just kill the thing with a big right fist. So, look, in the end, he goes for the mark, Brad Miller, as he assumes the support coming. He just tries to out-jostle in the end to put 2 hands up. That's what's fooled me on that call.
Welsh goalless last week. 8 goals against Melbourne, round 14 last season. And he's on the board tonight.
First for the night. We're back to a 4-point ball game. The margin at quarter time. Goal apiece in this term. White got the tap, had a second go at it. McLean tried to hoik it out of the centre area. They pile it on top for another bounce.
That's the matchup in the Adelaide forward. Perry's the main go-to player in the air. Scotty Wilson kicked that last one from a one-on-one contest with Ferguson. He didn't get there in time.
Everyone trying to mark, no one spoiling before as Uze goes forward with his right boot. Holland handballs in front. Robertson on the left boot, lines it up, and Robbo's pulled it back too far and through for a point. He's now kicked a 1-goal-1.
It's amazing the impact we have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just talk about that right boot, and out it comes.
Tim McGregor celebrating the milestone, but he hasn't started off very well. He's been led to the ball on just about every occasion so far. Lost with the flight of the ball in the first quarter by Robertson.
McLeod told to hurry, kicks it towards half back, reaching over the top. Neats tried to knock it forward. Goodwin to Rashudo. Simply coughed it up in the pack, taken head high. McGregor, no, not according to the umpire. So suddenly he's flailing away like, what did you say, air guitar on Ferry Cross the Mersey. No real intent. It was a ballad. We've got a bounce on the 50.
I was trying to remember the solo in that.
I love it. Knocked down by Hudson, taken by Edwards, floats it up towards the wing from behind. Big leap Perry, completely misjudged it. Bouncing football. Charging through down there was Williams, met solidly by Rashudo, dishes it off to John Cock, goes inside the forward 50, missed by Henschel, tackled by Rivers, back to Perry, open goal beckons and he goes, and he's kicked it, his first.
In front by a point. 4-3 plays 4-4. Rashudo just a strong body in there amongst it as well. Here's Burton now as he kicks forward. Celebrating on the Mersey this week as well, Dennis. Down about the Ferry.
Big win.
Big result against Chelsea.
Oh, did he break the tackle on this one?
Yeah, he held it for a while. Too long to the umpire, Daniel Bell.
Perry on Ferguson is a bit of a worry. Had his hands full with McFarlane last week.
Goodwin's 10th disposal up forward. Up goes Perry. Couldn't quite hold it. Good defence. Melbourne, a lot of... they learnt from last time, Dern. There was plenty of fists up in the punch.
Oh, yeah.
Brown from White. Kicks out wide. Nice mark to Neats, who's a long way up the ground. Pretty much on centre wing. He kicks it forward. Plenty of demons on the end of this one. And one of them is McDonald, who can go back from 45 metres out and take a set shot at goal.
Again, down the middle of the ground. It's the most efficient way forward. This bloke's underrated. He just keeps getting the footy. He racked them up early and then ran super hard to get on the end of this.
10th possession. He's lining up for his 11th possession now. So he finds the footy regularly, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's an honest goer.
Sorry, mate. Second in the best and fairest in 2003. He's kicked 1 goal 2 this season. 38 goals, 47. And this is 139th game of football. So James McDonald comes in. Not the best part of his game. From right on 50. and lives up to expectations. Out of bounds. There you go. Don't have to say it. Affects Mike got it all. Throw in, out of bounds, right next to the goals.
Crows by a point then.
Aaron Davies got to get busy in these situations.
Holland in front, over the top Hudson. Took a risk, clean possession, and proceeds to kick it out of bounds on the full.
Touched off the boot.
He's claiming it was touched.
Boundary throwing.
And they agree, the officials.
Aaron Davies, you'd almost take him off turn right now. You just break it as we have a look at this. Gee, must have had a fingertip.
I reckon he's made a clip on Hudson's foot, and that was the noise, and the umpires called that. Yeah, it's probably worth just to get him off and
free him up, have a talk to him, maybe get him to a different matchup.
Boundary thrown right on the 50 then. Hudson and White. Robertson left without it. Hudson. He works out when the ball's on the ground, the big man. Rashudo in trouble. Hand passes about 15 metres out of the congestion. Over the football, McDonald. Played it to Bell. Spills across to Miller. Did nicely to Johnston. Johnston forward of the wing. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Burton goes back. Tried to mark it. From there by Henshaw. In fact, it was Hart. Now Burton taps it forward to Bassett. Bit of pressure on, but the Crows survive as Bassett kicks it up towards the wing. Bizzle tracks it back, running out of space, tries to keep it in. It was okay, says the boundary umpire. Bizzle goes short, and the mark is taken here by Neitz.
Robertson's on.
Neitz goes towards the middle. It was intended for Brown, had it knocked away, immediately attracted a crowd of Crows. Hand pass comes back nicely to Thompson from Burton. Now Rashudo close to the boundary line. Scrambles it forward. Rutten a long way up the ground, taken down by Bell. That was a strong tackle. Coming over the top was Rivers. Burton a half chance, immediately throws it on the boot as he emerged from the pack. It bounces inside the forward 50. Loose at the back. McDonald gets back. Now he's got some time and space. Gets a hand pass to Johnston. He will see nothing up ahead, so he has to wheel around and take it back to Ferguson. Well played, kept his head.
It was great play. It was a big U-turn. The numbers are out on this, the old members side here at the MCG. Now, on the southern stand side, they break away. Comes out to Green. Deadly on the left boot. He's got plenty of space to run. Has a second bounce. Can go all the way here. Thumping kick up towards Neitz, who was out of position. It was a bad kick in the end, and the mark has been taken by Rutten, who held his spot. Kicks up the line. Now, the Adelaide Crows through Tyson Edwards. Goes short. This bloke has had a ton of it tonight. Goodwin gets it away. Now the Crows run through Shirley. Found a bit of space, slaps it on the boot, but that's where they're coming undone. They're lucky here, the Crows, they all fell over. Perry grabbed, held up, bounced 40 metres out directly in front. Hardball gets 18 Adelaide, 4 to Melbourne, and Davey gets his spell on the bench that Gary Lyon was calling for there, with a big donut next to his name as far as the stats are concerned.
Bounce inside the forward 50 then. White goes up, thumps it wide. Brown went to ground, tried to deflect it across to McLean, succeeded in doing that. He goes wider still to McDonald, who backs off Skipworth. Now he's presented with a problem. Played it very cleverly. Got it to Maloney. Brown pushing up from half back, kicked a couple himself tonight. Goes looking for Neitz, and that's a strong grab. Rutten just off him by a couple of steps and couldn't give it a contest.
Again, look where he wins that footy. Right in the middle of the forward 50. And that is the way they want to play. They want to come to that spot every chance. There is an element of risk. That ball gets punched down. Adelaide sitting there, Crummers ready in the middle of the ground. But it's risk and return. It's a good spot to be kicking for goal at. He's better from this distance, David Neitz.
Nathan Brown, 11 possessions, 2 goals. Very busy across half-back, making the play. And now Neitz, the beneficiary, tugs it left this time. Misses. He's kicked 1-3. And for the moment, McLeod, or in that build-up, was playing on Robertson. Now it seems that Sylvia is standing on the mark here as McLeod will bring it in. Always tricky playing on somebody with taller hair, but certainly you made it look easy tonight.
Yeah, close Sylvia is to the kick-out square then, because he knows McLeod would like to play on.
Robbo missed it. Uze, he knows it's there somewhere. Kicks it into Shirley. Still he goes, outnumbered. Goodwin to McGregor. Short one to Rashudo. A runner outside. Well played. This is Riley. Forward of the wing. Goes down inside the forward 50. And the mark is held by Perry. Gee, he's a willing worker, Ian Perry. Not Mr. Finesse, but he puts himself about, runs hard, tries his heart out, goes long towards full forward, in from the side, Inchel hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark, and across the line it goes. Midway through this second term, the Crows now lead by that margin, that last score. It's 29-28.
Every time that Melbourne go into their forward line, the Adelaide defenders know the 50-metre kick is going to Neitz. So look how many get back. Burton gets back, McGregor comes back with it, and his direct opponent Neitz.
On the fast break now, Green kicks up to the forward 50. 2-on-1, and the one at the back is McLeod, so that's about 7-on-1 in normal circumstances. Goodwin again gets away clear. His kick up forward wasn't good for Tawney. The pull of the ball, though, Riley, good tackle by Green. That's his second very, very good tackle tonight. And we'll have a bounce right in front of the Crazy John sign, and they're crazy in the crowd, the Melbourne fans. They wanted a holding the ball decision.
He's got some good servants, Adelaide, when you think about it. Blokes that have been around for such a long time. Hart across half-back. Shooter, McLeod.
They're not happy your boys there, Gary.
Oh, boys.
Yeah, the Demons fans are all screaming. Bizzle at the back, just got it away. Good play. Now the Demons can set up through the middle of the ground. They come to Holland, who's been good so far tonight. He's dished off some nice handballs. He gets it across to Maloney. Maloney's kick up towards his skipper, but getting back was hard. Needs made him earn it. Rutten now at ground level over to McLeod, who just had a little bit too much toe. Not much on offer upfield, so he holds the ball. Now he looks up and finds a target. Stayed in the air for a long time, but the mark was taken there by Welsh, who's come a long way up from full forward for his 5th possession.
Ben Hart loose across half-back is making life difficult for David Neitz. He has to be made accountable. He's too good a player, Ben Hart.
Welsh, like the old days in the schoolyard, just puts it up in the air for the high flyers. Off hands was Heffernan, who's held it a long time. Almost sold his teammate Bell into trouble, but he was good enough to pick a target out. He's got it away to Godfrey. Godfrey can go all the way now. He kicks long to Neitz. A 1-on-1 contest. Neitz from behind, just held back. Thought Rutten would go for the body-on-body, but Rutten backed himself and took a fine mark, and now the Crows are away.
20 around the outer side to Hart. He's running up towards the wing. All the time in the world. Generally, a good user of the ball. This is no exception to Biglands. He's about 60 metres from home.
He's getting the ball a lot forward of the centre when he comes on.
Biglands unloads with a big kick. Sliding away to the left, off hands, and through it goes for a minor score. Tony Jones.
And among those going up for the punch there, Dennis, was Paul Johnson, just come on for his first run, and he's got a real spring in his step too.
Famous number, famous name at Melbourne, of course. You go back to their great days in the 50s and 60s. A few Johnsons were playing then. Tassie, Trevor, Big Bob as the ball comes in.
That was a Big Bob special, that one.
Yes, he would have been proud of the distance. Here's Riley, 55 metres out. Sends it back in. High ball to the square. From the side, the big lead Perry. Welsh tries to sneak it through. Maloney on his own goal line to Johnson. Rivers back to Maloney. They've got the numbers to Rivers. Running it up towards right half back. Kicks towards the wing. Coming hard is McLean. Awkward half volley. Rashudo waited. McLean played it pretty well initially, but coughed it up. McLeod got it from Shirley to Biglands. Probing kick back inside the forward 50. In front, Miller. Bizzle taken down by Welsh. And he's going to get a free kick.
Well, he ducked into it. Brett Biglands comes on with about 8 minutes to spare each quarter, and that's Roo's normal time as well when he comes off. He'll come back on before half-time. He's only had 4 touches, Brett Biglands, and all 4 of them have been inside 50 kicks.
Bizzle with his 13th. He's at 14 now. 14 possessions to Clint Bizzle. Green over the top. Got to get moving now. Johnson, the first gamer, getting amongst it. Heffernan back on the green, who kept running from 65 out. It's a shocking kick. Mistimed it. Bounce might be fortuitous for the Melbourne side. Robertson got a glove on it, but it's over the line and out of bounds for a throw in the forward pocket.
All of a sudden, the #1 attacking team in the competition, Melbourne, have got Simon Godfrey playing at half forward because Ben Hart was allowed to do what he wants. So a big win for Neil Craig. He's upset this forward 6 that's been so dangerous all year.
And Bizzle 5 free kicks there. Good help towards 14 possessions. Holland tries to do an Adamuzzo with the outside of his boot. Heffernan over the line and out of bounds again for another throw in. They're springing the step. Once upon a time we thought, well, that was from excitement. Now it's because they've had a couple extra no-dos. As exposed on the footy show last night. What about that, dude?
Oh,
throw in.
Not illegal, it.
Not great.
I thought you only used to get that up in the Hume Highway. Here we go. Tight in the clinches at the moment. Melbourne fighting hard. McLean, he's tough. He likes doing. He stood up in the tackle, did it beautifully. Robertson in there, diving in hard at it. He likes a goal. McLeod concedes the behind.
What about that hand pass from Johnson? Wasn't that just an open hand slap?
Got to invent something in those things. The amazing thing was then, because the ball was held in there for so long, I think he would have had 11 Crows players inside their defensive goal square then.
Tawney takes off. It was a good shepherd. Thank you, umpire. Bassett was the man who did the shepherding. Tawney short to the wing. Goodwin has it now. Looks towards the middle. Skipworth. He's away. Sent into space. Nobody near him. Runs beyond the wing. Kicks inside the forward 50. That's a good kick too. And Hutto gets down and takes the mark. Some consternation there on the face of Ferguson. He thought it was a half volley, but the umpire had no hesitation in paying it.
You make a good point, Dennis. He is good below his knees. He's a good scrapper once the ball leaves the hands of himself and his opposition ruckman. Let's have another look now. That's grounded.
Goodwin up to 14, by the way.
But if you look at over the last month, Rhett Biglands has actually had more hit-outs to advantage as well than Ben Hudson. Yet Hudson still retains the #1 ruck position. So Neil Craig obviously likes the way he scraps out the game.
And he comes, 1 career goal, 1 point for the season. He's kicked it like Peter Hudson, straight through the middle.
The Crows were bleeding to the umpires at quarter time that they weren't getting a fair go. That just about squares it up because Hudson's mark wasn't even a half volley. That was just a grass ball, but from 45 metres he gets his first goal of the season, and they've kicked 3 on the trot now, the Adelaide Crows, to lead by 7 points.
Yeah, and they have, and they've done it really well. They just squeezed down the Melbourne forward line, and they've just made a few more dangerous matchups inside their forward 50.
Have a look how tight this pack is. This is exactly how Adelaide like to play. Goodwin will be the sweeper. Whichever side it goes, Goodwin will try and get on the bike, go past it and receive a handball.
Yes, the Demons' last goal 2 minutes into this quarter. They've kicked 3 behind since then, but the Crows have dominated. Well, 3 goals. 3 goals, 2 in that period. Here we go. They dive in left, right and centre there. Heffernan the last man in. The ball spills out to John Cock, but we'll have a bounce.
2 very attacking players at half-back for Adelaide now, McLeod and Hart. It's a rebounding game. It's a great setup. McLean now gone to McLeod just to try and contain him. Godfrey onto Hart.
Skipworth tried to get away. He was dragged to the ground by Heffernan. We'll have another bounce.
You got end zone, Tommy.
Brown having a spell on the bench. He's had 12 possessions so far tonight and a couple of goals, so he's certainly paid his way so far. Ball up again. Biglands gets the tap. It spills out the Welsh. Good handball out to Goodwin, who's been magnificent tonight. He slams it on the boot, but the bounce went forward rather than to the right. And it's through for a behind.
Both these teams, 4 wins, 2 losses, and they're so evenly placed. If you go to every statistic, basically in every area, even clearances, 143 to 140 over the last 4 weeks. So they're just so evenly matched in many, many areas.
Green goes very wide. So his first kick. Aaron Davey, well, he hasn't kicked it yet. He's running. He's gone a long way. He's had a couple of bounces. He's making up for the shortfall in bounces. He's 70 metres out. He kicks it longest. Could run on. No, it sets up. 3 Crows are back there. Burton comes away. Little chip out towards half-back, and they'll bring it down this side of the ground now. The Crows. Little kick from John Cott. Beyond the wing, Riley has to halt as a man comes across screen to pick up the mark. But we've seen this tonight on a number of occasions. Precision kicking to a man on the lead. Edwards has got it now. 60 metres out. Thompson is going long to the square. Could well be the target. Hudson, in fact, works in front. Good mark, Withers coming back to the flight of it.
Whilst as spectacular as the Davey run was, the ball's back in the opposition goal square because he kicked it with 3 men on their own.
This is Williams, and officially this is the Melbourne side of the ground. They will train on this side of the ground as he goes down towards half forward. Robertson is marked about 10 metres in from the boundary.
Trying to defend here, the Crows are going to... Simon Goodwin has pushed defensive numbers back inside defensive 50. That's why Robertson's not releasing the ball straight away. He needs players side on here, or needs to take an absolute champion mark.
High ball. He won't do that. He won't get to the contest. Hart was up. Didn't hang on. John Cott. Well, Neitz eventually got there belatedly, but with effect, and he goes in again on Bassett. Ball just trickles out the back of the pack. Meets his number 9, working overtime in there. There's Adam Uze.
Bassett was looking for the square up. Uze was there, but it was Neitz who got him.
And as you saw, Rashudo came back onto the ground with 3 minutes to play in the second quarter.
Mind you, if you're going to square up, you'd go for Uze rather than Neitz, wouldn't you? Let's be honest about it. Up goes Biglands, gets the tap. McLean almost got it. Holland out of the pack, a flying shot. Oh, Holland has been great tonight so far, and he's kicked one.
For more. Opportunistic goal. Turns 28 next Tuesday. 5 goals last week, so suddenly he's kicking accurately.
McLeod on the half-forward line, centre-half-forward, actually.
Hudson decisively into the path of Edwards, who slipped over. Diving in there, a Melbourne player was hurt. That was Robertson, slow to get up. And we've got a ball up about 5 metres away. Robbo dived in there and made some contact.
Yeah, it's just a shin to the ear.
There's the bounce. Bizzle with the run, thumps it to half forward. McLean upended, down he went. In goes Maloney. A couple of hard doers there, Maloney and McLean. Now Heffernan lays it off to Godfrey. Godfrey falling to the ground, pops it down towards full forward. Hart goes back. Holland had to spoil, taken by Begley. Away to Hart, lays it off to Rashudo. Too much depth on that kick. John Cobb with wonderful courage went back, got hands to it. Oh, charging in there over the top was McDonald, and he's working overtime on Thompson, who is not impressed. They would have been contenders, I think, for a midfield role at Melbourne last year, and they're having a bit of a roll right there.
Good contest, wasn't it?
It was.
Just a real good contest from 2 good young players.
I don't know what the free kick was for, but Thompson was hard at it. There's no doubt about it.
He's been very good, Scott Thompson.
A few pointy elbows in there, I suppose. Oh, a good bump from Godfrey as well. Over the line it goes. We'll have a throw in.
Besides, it's 5 out of 6 games scored over 100 points. Let's have a look at this.
Oh, a little bit of a rub on the ear there. And knee in the head.
Who would know these days? Adelaide would be delighted to keep Melbourne to 35 points for a half.
Rashudo, who's back on the ground, obviously. Couldn't quite flick it out.
Oh!
Matner, crunched, dropping the ball, says the umpire. And those hurt. That hurts, that one. Hurts the pride, hurts the body. Big one, Heffernan. Plenty of hip throw in that.
Yeah, a minute. Half Nelson.
Yeah, got the hip inside too, Dermot. The judo players out there would love that one.
There's no sport you haven't actually done it.
And there we go, at half-time. Done them all, no good at any of them.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
All right, Adelaide, 5-7-37. Lead Melbourne at half-time. It's as tight as you like, 5-5-35. As Dermot said, there's not much between them in any of the stats, in any of the key areas of football, and in the one that really counts, the score, there's only 2 points at half-time. So we're set for a beauty in the second half. Dermot Brereton and Gary Lyon will go through everything that's happened and tell you what will happen in the second half, or at least what they think will happen, as Robbo, sore head and a bit of a sore knee as well, limps off the MCG. It's a tough night at the office for old Robbo. Melbourne 35, trail Adelaide 37 at half-time. Friday night football, this is AFL on 9.
Go down the wire, hopefully so. We're going to take our chances.
All right, you're in a rush, mate, so I'll leave you to it.
Good on you, Tony. It's about 7 days of work to get that in.
Down in Clichéville.
Brad Miller has gone forward for Melbourne, which is the good proactive move that Melbourne needed to make.
Russell Robertson's got the football. Great to see a coach give up his time, though, in that situation. Moore should do it. Robertson directs it down towards the pocket. Good mark. Green protecting the football with the body against very quality opposition.
Well, if it's a 10-goal to 12 game, Melbourne lose. So they've got to load up and play to their strengths. Their strength is their forward line. #1 attacking team in the competition. Get your Green, get your Uzes back there, get your Millers into your most dangerous part of the ground, and try and blow this game out of the water, because Adelaide, committed, one-on-one players, might kick 13 goals, keep you to 10 or 11. That's not going to win it for Melbourne. They've got to go after 15 goals here.
Green, his 11th possession. More possessions than any other Melbourne player this season, averaging 20, steps inside the 50, trying to work it back left to right. That is very good. Very capable player. His first goal.
Game to hit the front for the first time since the 6-minute mark of the second term. McDonald gets the ball out of the centre for Melbourne, but is coming back just as quickly as Hart takes the mark for the Adelaide Crows at half-back flank.
Not really a hard lead from the Crows.
No, but now
through the
one
track.
breaks the other way. Thompson has been the go-to man. Dermot called it well there. They all went one way and Thompson went the other. With his 12th disposal, Thompson kicks inside 50. Ball hits the deck. Chance for Skipworth. Good tackle. Bounces off heads. Bizzle, who's been busy tonight. Little flick out the back there to Clint Bizzle. He's had 14 touches for the night, and that was a pretty effective one that won't go down on the stat sheet. McGregor in his 100th game, not having the greatest of impacts on the game so far. And again, the stats, all-important stats, possession time, they're very, very similar again, 47 to 43.
Boundary throw at Hudson. Did well, got it down to John Cock. A hand pass to Thompson. Hooks, give this one to Hutto. Well, give him the behind, the poster. That was clever.
It was a fantastic tap out, wasn't it? He saw his man curling in behind him, heading for the midfield, and just the gentle little tap over his back.
Emerging player, Hudson.
Well, he is, as I mentioned, over the last month, Brett Biglands has had more tap-outs and more tap-outs to advantage, yet Hudson still holds the #1 position.
Johnston, straight down the middle, spills wide of the congestion. Riley lays it off to Rashudo. Off the ball, there's going to be a Melbourne 3, is there? Yes, there is.
Unlucky or silly, one or the other, because they were away again with Scott Thompson getting the footy inside 50.
McDonald will take it. Just that errant arm going back, and it did catch him high. It was accidental, but accidents count. Here's Godfrey, forward of the wing, looks inside the 50, sets it up. Neitz is down there, battling with Rutten. Well done by the defender. Rashudo to Rutten at close quarters. The 225s. Well done by Brown. Forced the error. In there is Neitz. At the base of that pack is Robertson, and we've got a whistle and a ball up about 40 metres out from Melbourne's attacking goal.
Just a quality crumb presented by Neitz that last contest. Aaron Davey just in too close. He's down on confidence a bit.
Demons by 3 points. White only as far as Goodwin. Skipworth trapped the football and was immediately trapped.
Thanks,
and
Mark.
another bounce.
And this is where you get great leadership out of someone like Mark Rashudo. Defensive bounce in the defensive side of the ground, and he just uses his power to take the ball away.
Hudson got it down to Skipworth again. Edwards. Finally, the ball spills clear. John Cock under pressure. Good play, good umpiring. Let it go. Maloney now for Melbourne. Tries to crash through. He's had a couple of goes. Caught one high. And Maloney will take the free kick for Melbourne in the true centre-half back position.
Been pretty high contact from John Cock. Been pretty well kept under control, Maloney. Tawny's had a bit of a run with him.
So centre-half forward position for Melbourne. Centre-half back for the Crows. Up it goes. It's punched away. Tawny got the fist on the ball there over the line and out of bounds. The free kicks at the moment 10 to Melbourne, 4 to Adelaide, and the Crows are screaming at quarter time that they didn't get any free kicks to exacerbate that discrepancy in the statistics. Throw in the forward pocket for the Demons. White hasn't had the biggest night. Almost got in the back of his opponent Hudson there. Reached over the top. Umpire let it go. We'll have another bounce.
Adam Uze found plenty of the footy tonight, as he always tends to do. Played up the ground a bit more than he has normally.
Right at full forward, Hudson trying to drag it down to Rashudo. Comes out to McDonald. He couldn't quite get it away. Now it's Riley for the Crows. Out to Goodwin, who doesn't like his right boot. He's made it a bit awkward. Beautiful play by Henshaw. One-handed, then opened up the play. Riley again. Inboard it goes. Goodwin again over the top. He is the go-to man tonight. There's no doubt about it. As Hart now kicks out towards half-forward flank. Couldn't quite take the mark from behind there. Tawny dives in on top of it. Flicks it out nicely. Perry kept his feet. Got it out wide to the danger man. Thompson again into Skipworth. Couldn't quite grab it under pressure. Now he's up and away. Flicks it back to Thompson. Thompson back again. Bassett's chip was a beauty to Perry, who kept running. He's got to line up.
Got to play on from there and just make something unfold, because he would be a, with all due respect, I'm a big fan of Ian Perris, but he's a 2 out of 10 to kick this.
Well, he's kicked 1 goal 1 tonight, which means he's kicked 11 goals 7 for the season and 77-58 in his life. Dermot?
Well, we'll have a look at his...
He's only 25 metres out. Angle's pretty tight, but there's plenty of goal open for him. And Dermot...
He's better than a 2 out of 10. Oh, he's giving it a ride.
But no cigar on that occasion.
Ryan Ferguson, his opponent, he's got him on the back foot. He's not happy, Ian Perry. He's just a good, honest goer, Ian Perry. That's what you want. You
Beautiful
want someone
hands,
to give you a
though.
contest. He's better than that in the marking contest. He's not as depth with his feet.
Yeah, he's got beautiful hands above his head, Ian Ferry. Will present.
Demons by 2 points. Bizzle in the back pocket then.
The clear again, Clint Bizzle. He's right up there with Dustin Fletcher, Wirpunda, Leo Barry is one of the best clearance players in the league. He just wins the ball so often inside defensive 50.
Half-distance kick, clever one. McLean comes up, marks hard against the boundary line, looks back towards the middle. Godfrey needs it to arrive quickly. It does.
Great kick, opens up the whole ground now to have the footy there rather than on the boundary.
Riley was bearing down Godfrey. Goes back out wide. Robertson trying to judge it with one hand. Took a bit of doing. Shirley got it from Hudson. Now Perry moments ago was shooting at goal. This time kicking towards half forward. John Cock outnumbered. Over the top, Godfrey knocked it forward. Uze left it behind. Knocked away by Riley. In goes Skipworth. Riley missed it. Uze didn't. Sock it off the ground down towards half forward. Perry once more. And they'll build from the back. McGregor in his 100th short. Now McLeod. Cleverly done McLeod. Looks to half forward. And the mark is taken by Rashudo. Rashudo lobs it over the top. Running on his 20, 55 metres out, sets it up, long to full forward, up in front Henschel, had it bounce off his chest to Ferguson, who immediately played it across the line for a behind, so a point the difference.
Tried to take a chest mark in heavy traffic, Trent Henschel then. If he had got his mitts out, he might have been a chance.
Yeah, unusual to see that happen. A chest mark in the goal square with a pack around you.
Most blokes do that when they just, well, two reasons. I think you've got your man totally done, or you just lack that little bit of confidence. You might have coughed one or two up during the evening so far.
So White kicks to centre wing. Plenty of Crows there. Getting back is his opposite number, Ian Hudson, who takes the mark. Gets it across. Again to Goodwin. Holds the ball, picks his target and does it well. And Henschel keeps on in the back of the head as well, and he's away. Henschel kicks inside the 50, up towards the dangerous Thompson again. Concedes some ground to John Cock, dancing around trying to find some space. Gets it into the centre corridor. Shirley's been busy this quarter. Perry just toe poked, no 15, umpire said. Rashudo stood his ground and comes out to Shirley. Henschel's gone under a lot of pressure there. And Davies probably a bit quick with the tackle to get the free kick, but he stops him going forward. We'll have a bounce, as you can see, right on the corner of the square.
Good tackle. The left arm beautifully here.
You don't have to be Superman in a tackle term. It's all about the timing and pinning the arms.
He got him pretty low as well. He was going nowhere.
Edwards. In fact, some of the less convincing players have been great tacklers in the years, haven't they?
No doubt.
Nice free kick to Skipworth.
Skipworth's got it. Oh, it's going to be chopped off. No. Good play by Riley and, well, maybe ordinary play on that occasion by Jeff White. Could have done a bit better on that occasion. The kick to Tawney. Uze did well not to get into his back. And now goes Davey. Davey picks up and away he goes. Disposals this quarter. 39-13 Adelaide's way. Davey wants to go the whole length of the field. He's got a player up further. It is White who finally gets it. Now he can go all the way. White kicks up towards full forward. From behind, Robertson! Couldn't quite grab it. Offhand, he'll have another go. No, he won't, and the Crows go to McLeod. Oh, he's exciting, Robertson. There's no doubt about it. He'll never die wondering in a marking contest.
But he didn't mark it because there were so many players around it, and the reason they had time to get back, as we look at it again, is Aaron Davey held the ball too long, and it gave the Crows time to get back there and be the spoiling team. He needed a pass to Jeff White straight up.
There's Rutten. Back towards the middle, and John Cock in a searching lead about 80 metres from goal. A point the difference midway through this third term. Friday night football at the G.
Having said that, it should have been a free kick against Robertson in the first place.
Oh, yeah, but just look over that.
Give it to the game. Ball inside the 50. Ferguson got a first on it. And then it's Robbo. Heffernan behind. Swings it out wide. McDonald. How will this sit? Obligingly enough, he runs onto the ball. He's at right half back. Feeds it back towards the middle and Godfrey. Nobody near him. He goes towards half forward with a kick, and nobody near the man he kicked it to. That's Goodwin.
What they're doing is they're allowing Godfrey a lot of latitude for that very reason, that he doesn't hurt you with his feet. They'd rather go to a McDonald or a Green and let Godfrey be the loose player.
Hard to Edwards, just lays it off. McGregor a fumble taken high, he'll get the free kick. Well, Miller cannoned into him, and now it will be 50.
He runs over the top of the ball to lay contact on the head then. He actually goes straight over the top of the ball.
You heard his defence, but it didn't match his actions.
He's flirting with danger as Brad Miller. He's had a couple of reports on him on similar incidents and let off on a couple of occasions.
Boys, it's 49 to 18 the disposals this quarter. There are 8 Melbourne players who've been out there for the entire quarter, haven't touched it yet.
But they're harder at it at the moment, Adelaide. They're scrapping better than Melbourne. They're in and at it, contesting, running harder.
Having said that, they're behind. As Neitz goes off the ground, Holland comes on. And McGregor.
Better days, hasn't it, Dennis?
It has. I can hardly speak, though. There goes the kick. Inside the forward 50. Hudson was up, got hands to it, couldn't hang on. Maloney comes away, swings it out wide. The man just on the ground. Holland can set something up here. Runners ahead of him. He kicks the ball to Brown. The option is Godfrey. He's ignored by his teammates now. It's odd, isn't it? Brown's got it inside the centre square. Spins out of trouble. Kicks looking for Davey. Hangs a long time in the air. Bassett got there. Worth a kick as he thumps it defiantly up towards the wing. Back goes McLean. He's got it now. Lays it off. Run coming from half-back provided by Johnston. Scoots down towards right half forward. Normally a good user of the football. It was short of Robbo. He was punished by Hart and the ball spills out of bounds in the pocket. No, it's coming back to Robertson. Well, that seemed to be a belated whistle.
He's been paid for pushing the back, but whether there was 2 incidents.
Was that one? I think he was waiting to see if it spilt for Holland on the advantage.
Tell you what, it's a fair bench for Melbourne for a step up here when they get their act together. You've got Neitz on there and also Uze sitting on the bench at the moment.
I take your point, Ed, but obviously the umpire has not seen Ben Holland play footy too often with the ball on the ground close to the boundary line. What did he expect if that's an advantage? Adelaide players would have been advised to stop and sit down as Robertson comes in and has missed. He's kicked 1-2 tonight.
Uze up, ready to come on.
Inside 50s this third quarter. For all that disparity in the possessions, Melbourne have gone inside 56 times, Adelaide 7.
And for all that, Melbourne have kicked the only goal of the quarter.
Yeah.
Crows have kicked 5 behinds. Melbourne have kicked 1 goal.
Well, adding to Gary's call, credence to that call, Adelaide are loading up in their defence. They're just trying to choke down Melbourne's forwards.
Just correct that. Adelaide have kicked 3 behinds to 1-1. 3 behinds to 1-1, and juggling that goes over the line out of bounds. No, umpire paid it. I thought the third juggle was over. Rashudo goes short. Good strong mark there, Welsh. Now, Crows starting to build something here. Burton has to run back with courage. Oh, beautiful spoil there by Ferguson. That was fantastic play. Well done to both of them because Burton had to go a long way backwards. And they were all coming down. Have a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps, knowing that they were coming at him.
Yeah, it's a good effort, isn't it?
Made contact with the ball before he actually touches Burton.
Had he not made contact, he was in all sorts of trouble.
And Ferguson did it well.
Boundary throw in. Hudson in front. Couldn't control it. Johnston tackled by Rashudo, taken down. Hudson again on his knees, knocks it towards the boundary, and Shirley takes it across the line. Let's go down to the dock.
Yeah, David Neitz not happy with his right hamstring, Dennis. He's come off. He obviously didn't ping it in any great extent, but he's quite tight and sore. And they're just giving him a bit of light massage. Haven't stretched him up yet, but a lot of frowning and a lot of grimacing, so it doesn't look like he's quite happy with that.
And Pete, it's pretty cold tonight, isn't it?
It's the coldest Friday night we've had, Ed, and certainly not the sort of night you want to worry about a soft tissue injury and re-aggravate it.
Hudson holding his own against White. White this time, though, comes over the top and punches it and gains about 15 metres.
And we have a look at this. Mark Rashudo is trying to work something out here with Ben Hudson. Goodwin on the bench there. Trying to work out a ploy here. He's got to John Cock and said, give me a screen. So Rashudo's going to be the target player.
Bit of pressure on Hutto. He didn't get the tap. Knocked down by White. Oops. McDonald smothered. Maloney on the burst. Green to Bizzle. Now a chance for the D's. Bizzle through midfield. Looks inside the forward half. Spots Uze, who gets away from his marker and takes it 40 metres out.
He's the pivotal player in a different forward configuration now for Melbourne. Both Neitz and Miller are sitting on the interchange bench. They're going for a more mobile forward line. You watch Hart, he just, it was McLeod, I think he just zoned off.
Tawney, I think, on the mark.
That went to the goal square and left Uze out there on his own.
15 goals for this season. This to stretch the lead. Adelaide, a lot of attacking in this term, but the Demons putting it on the board. Not this time, though. McGregor goes back and takes a very good mark in the square. Plays on. Spotted Hart. Edwards up ahead. He's got it now. Plenty of run from the back. McLeod storms past. Edwards hangs on. sold himself into trouble, and Davey brilliantly across the boot smothers, and the ball is out of bounds. Well, the hesitation cost Edwards there. Normally so good at making the right decision. Should have given it off immediately to the run of McLeod.
A good play there. Uze also. So 2 hands on it there. I think Davey got a fingernail on it. And then Uze over the line. Riley tries to flick it out. Bassett always hard at it. He's held it up, though. He's held up for a long time. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt and will have a bounce.
They're going to fancy their chances here, Gaz. And they hold Melbourne to 6 or 7 goals at three-quarter time. The Crows are really going to back themselves in this last quarter coming up.
Especially if that bloke doesn't come back on. David Neitz.
White gets the tap on this occasion, but it's Thompson again, who's had a wonderful night. Kicks along the boundary line, has been picked up by Green. Inboard they come. Now they go back to the boundary line to Bell from Rivers. Will chip up the lines, a good one to Johnston.
Will look to come inside if he can.
Nothing on, so he kicks up the line again. And McLean, who had a bad kick in the shin just before half-time, has recovered very well. Tough nut that he is. And this will be his 10th disposal.
And he coughs up, so he never takes his eyes off it. And he probably thinks he's going to cop a knee in the back of the head. There's a good kid in there.
Oh, it's a beauty. Just the 15 to Maloney, who's the thumping kick. But with no Neitz at full forward, who does he kick it to?
Well, Holland's there. He's indicating he wants it long. There's a lot of numbers back for Adelaide.
So he puts it up in the air, hoping for Holland and maybe Robbo. Holland, was he held? No, said the umpire. Offhands, Godfrey did it well out to Heffernan. Heffernan half went at it there, but he dives in a second time, trying to just finesse it out. Brown dives on top of it again, and we'll have a ball up 25 metres out from the Melbourne goal.
So 15 players inside defensive 50 here for Adelaide.
I said Heffernan half went. I didn't mean he was half-hearted. It was more he was trying to finesse it and just get the break onto his left boot. Ball up. Hudson got it down. Riley flicks it out to Johncock. The touch play on. No, said the umpire. Doesn't matter anyway. It's bounced. Beautiful play by Perry. Gets it down to Edwards, and the Crows can mount something from here.
Skipworth inside the centre square.
Put it
2 mines.
Big one's on Ferguson long. You'd fancy the big man.
Goes in that direction, but certainly attracted a Melbourne crowd. Knocked down in front by Green. Williams breaks away. Perhaps that kick should have come in quicker to McLeod, who was deep on the flank. Ball meantime now transferred to the opposite end. Rutten lurking behind the pack. Advantages paid to Adelaide. He kicks it out wide. Closing brilliantly was Godfrey to knock it away from Burton. Burton goes again. Too much finesse. Twice. Clever into the path of Riley. Riley around the boundary line. Tugs it back. Intended for Perry. Chopped off by Williams. Maloney. He's running now at the defence. Kicks a high ball down towards Uze. Works in front. In from the side. Rutten. Knocked it away from Holland. Here's a chance for McLean deep in the pocket. Matner came at him. Like a waiter with room service. Robertson feeds it back towards Johnson. Lost it. McGregor a couple of times has been stellar back there. Thompson to the wing. Now the Crows can break. Perry, a little chip into space. Burton can run onto this if he gets the bounce. Line up a goal. Can he finish? He pulls it back. It's bending around. Oh, yes. Bigland's over the top.
The sort of player that Ryan Ferguson will have some trouble with. He's a big, strong body. And, gee, I tell you, Johnson and Holland in the 1-forward line for Melbourne. If they don't get it, it comes out quick.
Bigland's point-blank range. Adelaide lead by 4 points.
I need more performance.
The mark, Ferguson spotting him 14 kilos.
Yeah, he's the worry. And Perry on Rivers as well. I'd get him deep. You get Perry deep.
Beautiful tap, Maloney. That's the first goal to the Crows, despite all the play they've had in half an hour of footy. Their last goal came at the 19.5-minute mark of the second term. That came at the 20.5-minute mark of the third term. But they're in front. And we've got a close one with under 4 minutes left in the third term. As Tawney now brings the ball up the members' wing. Skipworth has got it. Off a standing start. Puts it inside 50 again. Out came a number of players there with intent to crash the pack more than worry about the mark. But it's ended up with Johnston for Melbourne. Normally a good kick. He goes up the line, and that was a beauty. Gave Holland every opportunity. And we have a throw-in on centre wing. Dr. Peter Larkins. You there, Pete?
Neitz back onto the side. Right thigh or hamstring heavily strapped. I think the doc indicated.
Yep, we'll come back to Pete in a moment. We'll get his microphone right as we have a throw in now. Hudson dangerously took it out of the ruck, but no one was there to tackle him. And in the end, I reckon it's gone off the shin there. It is, yep. Had a bounce on the full off Johnson.
Hang on.
It's gone the wrong way.
They played it the wrong way.
Well played by Heffernan. He grabbed the ball and took off. That should have been a Crows free kick. They'll be howling in Adelaide, and quite justifiably so. But they get it back now, and that's no free kick. Riley's dragged without any opportunity, and we'll have a bounce on centre wing.
That was unbelievable. You would be filthy if you're an Adelaide Crows supporter.
Let's have a look at the replay here. Have a look at this. Oh, hang on. I'll take that back.
Yeah, hang on. Did it come off? Oh, it might have come off the player past Johnson, did it?
We'll have another look in a minute.
Hudson, who's been terrific, wins it down again. I think he's channeling Roy Wright tonight. The kick goes out wide, taken by Burton over the top. McLeod left it behind initially, goes back and gets it. Now Thompson runs inside the 50. They've dominated the play. Can they put it on the board? No, not quite.
They've outrun them in the last 3-4 minutes, Adelaide.
And Neil Craig has said, rightio, now's the time. Andrew McLeod has gone forward. So he's held them up. He's got them to 6 goals, which is a win. But now he's saying, I'll put one of my trumps forward and see if I can't get this out to 10, 11 goals.
In coaching terms, he's gone for that step-up gear. He's held with them, and now he's gone for the step-up gear of McLeod to give them some real bite through the middle.
Thompson's kicked 3 behinds tonight. The only blemish on his play. Peter Larkins, you there, Pete?
Yes, Ed. Yeah, look, I think he's probably got more of a cork hamstring, David needs. They've, as I said, it was tight rather than a tear. They've strapped it really heavily. In fact, it was too tight. He asked them to change it. Then they put the thermoskin around the outside of it. So more of a corked hamstring, but obviously a huge risk, Ed.
OK, so danger, but the game's here to be won. So they need the skipper and something to kick to. The long bong to full forward for Neitz is the call now in the order of the day, as Rivers has it at halfback flank. Chips it out wide to Ferguson. Ferguson around the body. It was dangerous. It didn't have any spin on it. Heffernan was good enough to get there.
This is so unlike the Melbourne when they're going well. They've gone from one side of the ground to the other, but no further forward.
They've chased them down here.
Full credit to Adelaide. A full press on.
Yeah, Neil Craig doing well with the coaching tonight. As Gary said early on tonight, for Adelaide, it really has to be less than a 10-goal game. Perry with that 1 centimetre handball again. Got away with it on occasion. McGregor now to Riley. Down they go. Turnover kick though, and McDonald's got it.
Good.
Oh, McLeod's picked it off. Too quick, too good. Now he looks up, and Biglands has got the mismatch. The kick from McLeod was a shocker though. Rivers gets it away. Now Melbourne. Godfrey needs to hit a target or just go long, so gives it up to Bizzle under pressure. The Biz has found some space. He goes short to the skipper, punched away. Great play there by Rutten, but it falls to Green. Green with the outside of his boot, tries to bend it back, but he's offline. And in the last minute of play in the third term, Melbourne miss. And Green has now kicked 1 goal, 1 for the night and for the term.
Very un-Andrew McLeod-like, wasn't it? But Simon Godfrey, no confidence in his kicking, running forward through the middle of the ground. Stopped and waited for someone to give it to.
Johncock to bring it in. Almost 3/4 time. Crows by 4 points. Dominated in the field of play in this term. Up goes McGregor. Good mark. Lays it off. Thompson on the overlap to the wing, and Matner is forced to hold up. We're down to 36 seconds. Clock continues to run.
Now Biglands has got a legitimate one out if he can get side on play, and then a quick penetration inside forward 50.
Matner to Skipworth, set him a task, fisted away by Heffernan, chance for the Demons. Heffernan down to 20 seconds now. A goal either way would be handy. Heffernan into the path of Maloney, or is it Sylvia? It's Sylvia who tracks it out there. At the choice of the couple, Sylvia can't keep it in. And the boundary throw in, and he's not happy.
Early night tonight, boys, too. 27 minutes, the first 2 quarters. This will go about 27.
No goals there, just 6 apiece. It's an incredibly low-scoring affair.
Not a good sign when the coach is prowling. He was on the move there. Hudson in front, directs it to the back this time, doing almost as he wants against some quality opposition. Begley on his knees, only as far as Sylvia. Godfrey taken down, and he's going to get the free kick. Well, the man they wanted to have the ball in his hands, Adelaide, or so it seemed during this term, finishes up with a kick after the siren. He might not have the finesse and the guile of some, but he plays like a kamikaze minus the helmet, which begs the question, why did kamikazes wear helmets? But he's got this kick about 35 out, and he hasn't kicked a goal this season.
He has. He's got as much courage as anyone. He's just not as polished with the ball in his hands.
Hitting, he should have a 0. Here he comes. Working it back left to right. He's got it.
Never in doubt.
Hold the record book. Melbourne are in front. Three-quarter time, Friday Night Football 49 plays 47. How about that? And the flags are waving.
Well, it's much needed, and it's almost a travesty that they're not in front, Adelaide. But anyway, it's all set for the last quarter, Ed.
Well, doesn't matter, Gary, because for all that, Melbourne kicked the 2 goals and Adelaide kicked 1. It's a 2-point ball game, just as it was at half-time, except this time Melbourne have reasserted themselves. 4 points at quarter-time, 2 points to the Crows at half-time, and suddenly the crowd at the MCG has come alive on Friday Night Football. This is AFL on 9. G is 11,500 people. The amount of people who are diagnosed with breast cancer every year pay tribute. Nathan Brown with his first goal of the year. He loved it, but Hayden Skipworth was equal to the task. It was a 4-point game at quarter time. Neil Danaher saw the writing on the wall. It was going to be a danger game tonight at the MCG, as Melbourne, though, were able to get out to an early lead through Nathan Brown, who kicked his second of the year. But then a run of 3 goals in a row to Welsh, to Perry, and then to Hudson to the Adelaide Crows. They led by 7 points. Late in the quarter, into time on, and a quick kick out of the pack from Ben Holland. And it was a 2-point ball game at halftime. Neil Craig, the coach of the Crows. A disciplined performance is what he needed, and that's what he got. However, against the run of play, Green got the first of the quarter for Melbourne. Bigland's the only goal of the quarter, despite massive amounts of statistics for the Adelaide Crows. And believe it or not, the bloke they reckon can't kick, Timon Godfrey, after the siren to put Melbourne 2 points up. That is the story so far at three-quarter time on Friday Night Football, AFL on 9. It's Melbourne by 2 points against Adelaide. 14 scoring shots to 17. A bit wasteful, the Crows in front of the goals as we start the final term with Dennis Cometti.
Everything to play for. White goes up, taps it down. There was holding on. Shirley, I think, will get the free kick. He will. Melbourne lead it by 2. Identical records coming in, these two clubs, to start round 7. 4-2. Shirley goes down towards the half-forward line. Perry in front.
Well, they continue to loom, don't they? Perry and also Biglands or Hudson, when they rest down there, they're just stretching a talented but smaller and lighter key defence for Melbourne. And this is such an important kick for Ian Perry. Goal so hard to come by.
He kicks from right on the 50 and tugs it to the right this time, so the margin is back to a point. He's kicked 1-3 as we go down to the dock. It was the goal umpires.
Dennis, needless to say, David Neitz, the centre of attention at three-quarter time with Melbourne, where he was really just testing out. He's on the bench, so they haven't taken the risk with him there. He's got the right hamstring heavily strapped, as I said, probably more of a cork hamstring or type. But conditions like tonight, they didn't. They gave him a bit of a fitness test. Didn't quite look. He was happy with it, and sitting out at the moment.
And Pete, the fact that he's sitting down, that doesn't seem to be a very encouraging sign that he'll come back on. You'd think he'd have to be moving in this cold conditions.
Ed, he looked more unhappy than he did when he went out there, so I think he may have resolved the fact that he's not going to risk it tonight.
Okay, Simon Goodwin, what a night he's having. He gets it inside to Edwards, some of the old firm for the Crows. The Premiership boys coming together. They trail by a point as Edwards now thumps it long up towards full forward. They've got the numbers, and White at full stretch takes a beauty for Melbourne.
He needs to lift Jeff White. Hudson had the better of him tonight. Enormous talent. Going to maybe push forward now with no Neitz and take the opportunity to take a ruckman forward and see if that can't kick a goal.
Well, it's great that he does this, but he needs to find the ball through the centre of the ground.
Yep, well, there you go. Both our expert commentsmen say Jeff White go forward as Maloney kicks it inside the forward 50 under a bit of pressure. And getting back was Tawney, looking for the Academy Award as well. He's done it well off the Bassett. Yeah. Bassett's handball's a bit strong for Riley, but he's good enough to pick it up. Now he's in trouble. Held onto the ball. He's held on too long. Gone! Heffernan got him. Umpires paid the advantage. Away they go now. Azuze kicks it inside 50. Robertson from behind. He'll get the goal anyway. No, Davey will. Goal to Melbourne.
This contest, right on three-quarter time, Godfrey got a free kick, kicked the goal after the siren, and as a result of that miss, Davey able to be the beneficiary. And point-blank range, and Melbourne suddenly out to a 7-point lead. Testing time now for the Crows. White missed it on the way down. Biglands charges through, kicks it to half-forward. McLeod got fingertips to it. There's Godfrey again, charging after the football as well, to match what we saw from Biglands coming out of the middle moments ago. Full commitment as we go down to the dock.
Well, David Neitz will be happy if this keeps up, but they have taken all the strapping off his thigh, Dennis, and they're working on some massage on the boundary, so they haven't given up hope. But if Melbourne stay in front, I think they'll happily keep him on the ground with that tight hamstring.
Bounce on the 50 then. White decisively favours the Crows, though. Riley, costly mistake moments ago. This is Burton. Takes on Godfrey. 60 metres out. Sends it down towards the pocket. Rashido couldn't get across in time. Bizzle twists out of trouble. Well played to Godfrey on the bounce. He's across half back again. The ball in his hands, and again the kick not particularly good. Didn't match the one after the siren at three-quarter time. Diving in there, Edwards. Taken front on by Holland. Whistle and a bounce.
Mark Rashido has now gone forward, and that is a good move for Adelaide. Perry can get his hands on the footy as often as he can, but his kicking just doesn't allow him to become a big goal scorer. We know Rashido is a beautiful converter.
Godfrey to Uze, who invented something again. Davey flashes in a play, finds a bit of space. John Cox got him though, but look at the handball. Beauty, concedes some ground. Holland's kick was a beauty, and Uze, who was in the contest a moment ago, ran forward. He is a very clever player. And with what was an illegal football jumper, I think a couple of seasons ago, with a cut-off T-shirt style.
I think they just fold it up. I think they just fold it up. He likes to fold them up. There's Adam. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. He's a beautiful converter. What, not folded? Like it matters.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying that I think they outlawed it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Good luck to him.
Yeah, they did outlaw it. So not official AFL product was the verdict.
Exactly. In he comes from 49 metres out. Adam Uze. Hold that one up. That's a goal. Adam Uze, fantastic performance. His first.
Neitz runs the boundary. Melbourne by 13 points. They've got to run on. AFL football is all about taking your chances. The Crows did not do that in the third term. Dominated, kicked one goal, and now it seems they're paying the price. Johnston knocks it wide. John Cock. Crows desperate for the next goal. John Cock and Davey battle after the football. Edwards takes a tumble, got the hand pass away. McGregor towards midfield. Burton goes back cleverly. Deflected it down to his own advantage. Still he goes, Burton. Confronted by a wall of demons. Hooks it down towards half court. Going back was White. Showed wonderful courage. Henschel knocked it in Bigland's direction. Riley back to Henschel. Henschel across the body. Perry camped in front. Couldn't hang on. Skipworth effectively stopped it. Rivers goes in. Heffernan against the flow in the opposite direction. Riley over the top. Perry. And that ball does not come out. And the umpire has whistled it up. And the Crows realising now this night very much on the line. The next couple of minutes could decide it.
Good effort by Chris Heffernan in amongst there as well. Stretched out, kept it in play. Biglands, but it was White who ended up getting the real purchase on the ball. McLeod always dangerous. He's tackled a couple of times, but he still knocked it out. Great play to Biglands. McGregor in his 100th game slaps it onto the boot. Rivers goes back and takes a strong mark. They've been quiet earlier, really getting into the game now, backing himself. As the tempo starts to lift, so too do these demons. It comes into Green. Away they go up the middle. They're lined up. Maloney's a beautiful kick. He swings onto his right boot, thumps it long up towards centre half forward. Robertson's there, made the contest. That's all that was required. He was never going to get it, but Didi make a contest. Davey tries to paddle it out. Good tackle. John Cock for the Crows. They're under pressure now, the Crows. They've got to get the next goal to stay in it. They're panicking. It comes out from Bassett. Davey still lurking with intent. A beautiful tackle. Tawney under pressure. Gets it going to Edwards, who finesses it round the corner, but they're still under pressure. They're going to give it up here. No, Shirley to John Cock. More pressure for the Adelaide Crows. Still the pressure comes from Melbourne, but still the Crows answer the question as Henschel gets it out wide to Thompson.
65 metres out, he goes long down towards full forward. Rashido knocked away by Bizzle. Bizzle was slung by Rashido. Deep in the pocket, McLeod needs support, has it now. Skipworth against two, back to Rashido, close to the boundary, running away from his own goal. Kicks it across the 50. Henschel came hard. He was well met by Brown. McDonald to the run of Bizzle, goes up to the wing. Melbourne on a roll. White looks inside the forward 50. Davies slipped over. Going over the hurdle was Bassett. Nobody is happy with that result. The
pressure was magnificent from the back pocket, and it continued. A sore ankle for John Cock maybe, but it continued all the way down and all the way back out.
Mark Rashido has to come onto the ball. It's too congested for a key forward at his height to mark the ball. Clint Bizzle's got good coverage on him, and look, he's powerful, but he's just not getting the space to utilise that power. You've got to get him on the ball. They've got to win the ball out of the middle now.
Out we throw in from the side, McGregor. Tumbles to Thompson, who kicks it directly to Green, just forward of the wing. Green to Maloney, to Rivers. A runner alongside. McDonald steps to the 50, lines up at goal, hammers it home. His first. Oh, that's a killer.
4-minute mark of the second term. They've kicked the last 4 of the game, the only 3 of the quarter, to have a game-high 19-point lead. Against the run of play early on, but they've dominated this last quarter as Skipworth tries to get it going for the Crows. It comes out to Hudson, who slams it on the boot. Into the forward 50 it goes, and Perry's been good. He's taken the mark, but his kicking's let him down so far tonight.
Well, they've had more shots at goal than Melbourne. There's been 17 shots for Melbourne, 10-7. Adelaide have had 6-12.
Now, this bloke, I argue he's been okay, and he loses points because he had 2 or 3 really gettable shots at goal and missed them.
He's missed it through his right, these types of kicks.
1 goal 3, look at that, 6 to the right-hand side. He held his nerve that time. He split the difference to give the Crows a chance with 12 1/4 minutes left on the clock.
He's really back in the swing of it. Of course, Black and Brown missed early games with suspension. And Chris Johnson's kick in, you can see he's not happy with that. He was probably the best in the competition last year, but he just hasn't been hitting the targets as he would like.
It was a beautiful looking kick. It couldn't have been flatter, but it didn't have the power. And Jason Johnson makes him putt.
And that's the ultimate insult, isn't it? Kick it to the opposition, they put it back over your head.
So the Bombers get one back, but they've got a lot of work to do. They're still down by near enough 6 goals.
And that mark, and it wasn't even kicked by an Essendon player to Johnson. That was just the second mark for the Bombers inside their forward 50 in this first half. Brisbane have had 12. Another clearance.
Yep. Straight back on. Touch number 10 for the turn. Voss having a rest up forward. Murphy, nowhere to go. 55 out from Brisbane's goal. They lead by 33.
Marks inside 50, and you can see there 12 to Brisbane, just 2 to Essendon, 6 to Jonathan Brown, and 4 to Chris Scott. And that is a domination. And it's also a reflection that Lucas and Lloyd and Hurd just haven't been able to get into this game.
Stay clear. So free kick for in the back to Murphy on centre wing. Essendon leading the free kick count, 10-6.
You know, Lepic is Lloyd's opponent, and Matty Lloyd wasn't all that interested in going for that ball. I just don't think he can play anywhere but full forward, and at the moment the Bombers are keeping Laycock back in the goal square.
Good kick by Power to McDonald, to Lappin, to Chris Scott, pinpoint accuracy.
Back 5 metres tight, another 2 metres tight.
Back to Lappin, who continues running. He goes long into the goal square. McLaren, no mark. Voss off the ground. McLaren in. Kicks the goal. Great running from Nigel Lappin. And went the long option.
Andrew Welsh was arguing about something, but can't see what the argument was about.
He may be claiming the ball was over the line. fact, that's exactly what he was claiming.
Yeah, the two Essendon players claiming that the ball was over the line when it was kicked.
I don't think it ever was.
Just got to get a centre clearance, Essendon.
The numbers are Brisbane's way, although not overwhelming at 11-7. This one's still up for grabs. It should be the Bombers. Solomon from Jason Johnson and Lovett. There's Laycock cleverly, deftly to Mark Johnson. Oh, they're beaten by the bell. A certain goal, but it won't count. And Brisbane, the Empire has struck back. The natural order has been restored. The Lions are 39-point leaders at halfway.
7 goals in the first quarter to Brisbane.
A Big Brother exclusive. Keith Urban, Anthony LaPaglia, Ron Moss.
I think I've loved you even before I met you.
I'm a man. Plus, who'll win a part in a Bollywood movie? Road Ride, 9:30 Tuesday on 10.
Big savings on a big range of hardware during the Stratco Big Sale. Modular rainwater tanks from only $219. Good Neighbour fencing, big value, $32.31 a metre. Electric water pumps from a low $198. And 24 months no deposit interest-free terms on all Stratco Outback verandas, patios and carports with a bonus $150 gift voucher.
What you need today?
It's big.
Looking for a bargain from some of Australia's leading bedding brands? Then look no further than Dreamland's Big Brand Sale. At Dreamland, we've been supplying our customers with the leading brands for over 25 years and at the best prices around. Why? Because as South Australia's largest specialty bedding group, we pass our huge volume discounts on to you. So if you want a good night's sleep without hurting your pocket, come to Dreamland. We stand behind every bed we sell.
Dreamland. New Triple X has got to be more dangerous, more attitude.
A man who was betrayed by the system.
I want to get you a job.
Be just like old times. Is our only chance for survival.
Who the hell am I?
You're the new Triple X.
Things are going to be different around here.
From the director of Die Another Day.
I'm going to need some serious gear.
What can one man do? Triple X 2, the next level. In cinemas now.
This is it. My room's up there. Jace, what are you... this is Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Hi.
Domino's new barbecue burst pizza adds a surprising burst of barbecue flavour with every bite.
Domino's! Win your mum a great Byron Bay getaway from Harvey Norman this Mother's Day. There are 100 3-day luxurious Byron at Byron Resort and Spa prizes to be won. Your mum can enjoy this idyllic lush rainforest setting, miles away from the day-to-day worries of life, with a getaway for two, including a Sea of Serenity package at the Byron at Byron Day Spa. Just make a purchase of a great Mother's Day gift from Harvey Norman, fill in the entry form provided, and your mum's in the draw. Make your mum's day with Harvey Norman and the perfect hideaway. Byron at Byron Resort.
Call in for Jacob's Creek range of wines, only $6.99 each. Or get a bonus VB long neck with every carton of cans or stubbings, just $31.99. Stock up on any two of these for just $50. Ballantine Scotch, Canadian Club, Finlandia Vodka, Beefeater Gin, Kahlua and Southern Comfort. See boozebrothers.com.au for more great offers.
Booze Brothers. Baby offers cold.
Last week, he confronted his biggest fear.
That's 2 kilograms worth of these babies.
On Rove Live, anything can happen. So what will happen Tuesday?
The Long Change, brought to you by Primus Telecom.
Yes, half-time at the Telstra Dome. The Lions in control. They lead by 39 points. And Andy, the star of the evening, Jonathan Brown's kicked 5 already.
It's rare that you get such an anticipation about the return of a player and then the player actually delivers the way that Brown's delivered to half-time. You're sitting at home watching it, and we love this. We were sitting here watching this. This is the third goal he kicked in the first quarter. A remarkable first quarter. The players came from everywhere. And he's such a calm and imposing figure.
Now, a little wink here to his captain, Michael Voss.
Right there. Yeah. She'll be right, Vossy. You could just see the Brisbane players just responding to him, just the mere presence. But then for him to have the sort of impact he had, they were just walking a foot taller all over the place. And he's such a good footballer.
He certainly is, no doubt about that.
What's he had? 8 marks and 5 goals to half-time, which is just remarkable.
The other game being played tonight is at Subiaco Oval, West Coast playing against Sydney, and that was the quarter-time score. Since then, Andy, the Eagles have piled on 3 goals.
Goals to Sampi Judd and Matira Crisso. They've bounced out to a 14-point lead in really difficult conditions at Subiaco. There's been some rain, it's slippery. And Sydney were up to their old tricks early in the game.
That's the Sydney forward line, early stages of the first quarter. No one there, and this is the opening goal of the match.
It took 45 seconds, so they busted the flood very, very early. Then it just locked into a real grind. Sydney were actually dominating possession. They had heaps of ball in their half of the ground, peppering away, and then it took Brett Kirk, who's...
Not a bad goal, this.
No, and he's been doing a fantastic job on Chad Fletcher. This was a super kick and a great result. And for a long period of the first quarter, Sydney did look like the better side. Then this, we've seen this all too many times. Michael Gardner going over on the knee. Whenever you see the big fella do that, you fear the worst. He didn't look happy when it happened. He had the grimace on his face and was cursing. Went off the ground.
Hard to know how serious it is.
Well, they're saying the PCL from the ground. He's been walking around, so let's hope it's not too bad. He's had enough knee problems to last a lifetime, and we know how important he can be to West Coast, but they are leading by 14 early doors in the second quarter.
Yes, and don't forget to join us later on tonight after the game from the Telstra Dome for the 5th quarter with all the latest football news. Looking forward to it already.
We've been nominated for a Logie.
I hope so. Back to the Telstra Dome shortly. The Lions by 39.
The long change.
You have got 1 hour to go.
In the final episode of Jamie's School Dinners, it's the moment of truth. Will the schools reject Jamie's food?
If you put your name beside this, you'd want to be mad.
Or will the government change the laws?
Am I going to be seeing that or a version of that?
Don't miss the final serving.
This is the first generation of kids. They're expected to die before their parents. What, we're going to just watch that happen?
Jamie's School Dinners ends Wednesday on 10.
Big savings on a big range of hardware during the Stratco Big Sale. Bonus $75 gift voucher with all Stratco Heritage Garden Sheds. Tasman Vanity Unit, big value, $299. Stratco Post and Rail Fencing, only $30.65 a metre. And 24 months no deposit interest-free terms on Stratco Home Sheds. And 10% off all gable sizes.
What you need today?
It's big.
The new Triple X got to be more dangerous, deadlier, more attitude.
You sure we got the right guy?
Only one way to find out. Triple X 2, the next level. In cinemas now.
Sensational Lacornu! Sleep Haven's factory authorized sale! Quality mattresses from $95, orthopedic pillow top ensembles from $8.99. Huge factory direct savings, incredible interest-free offers with no deposit.
Sensational! Save over 40%!
Lacornu!
Have exquisite this. Home Hardware's Homemaker sale. Hey. I didn't even know Home sold homemakers.
You bonehead. Look, it's just great products at really low prices. Like this GMC Power Tool 6-pack for $99 and a Canberra handy lamp for $23.95.
Awesome. Yeah. But you can't actually buy a homemaker?
Of course you can't. It's like a garage sale. You don't buy the garage, do you?
Nah, but a dog's allowed to dream.
Where? Home Hardware.
Looking for a bargain from some of Australia's leading bedding brands? Then look no further than Dreamland's big brand sale. At Dreamland, we've been supplying our customers with the leading brands for over 25 years and at the best prices around. Why? Because as South Australia's largest specialty bedding group, we pass our huge volume discounts on to you. So if you want a good night's sleep without hurting your pocket, come to Dreamland. We stand behind every bed we sell.
Dreamland.
At
Discount City Carpets during their mega stock take sale, twist the salesman's arm and save really big. Pay now and save up to $1,350 when you floor cover your whole house. Discount City Carpets mega stock take sale on now at all branches.
Nothing you've experienced can prepare you for hitchhiking across the galaxy. Don't leave Earth without The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
You know why so many people like the taste of Subway sandwiches? It's simple. They only put on what you like the taste of. Every Subway sandwich is made fresh right in front of you, so you choose all the ingredients. The meat, the veggies, the sauces, the fresh baked bread, everything. No wonder so many people are leaving the burger joints and coming over to the great taste of Subway subs. Because when you really think about it, they don't make the sandwiches, you do. Subway, eat fresh.
But one of the fine arts of modern-day football is the jumper punch. And Mark McVeigh here, well, lost the plot a bit. Kevin said he didn't drag him, but he gave away a 50 in the end. And for a little bit of pleasure, he ended up causing a fair bit of pain because Lerzak is saying, thank you very much, we got the 50, and it was an easy goal.
Well, he's got the last laugh, hasn't he? And that's all that matters. They got the goal on the board, and, well, they've been just so impressive, this Brisbane team. Jonathan Brown, what a return to league football. 5 goals, 1 behind in a half of football, and there's more to come. That's the scary part for the Bombers.
38% of the score. Jonathan Brown, 5-1. 13-3 Brisbane, 6-6-42 the Bombers, as we have a look at the first half highlights. And well, Jonathan Brown just took the game by the proverbial scruff, didn't he?
He did, and it just means that Brisbane could go back to their game plan, which they've had for the last 5 years, and that is kick the ball long to a contest situation. Of course, it's been Lynch and it's been Brown, but they haven't had either of them. Well, we won't see Lynch again, but Brown has come back into the team, and they've just gone to him in contest situations, and he's just thrived. There we see Lucas, who's been playing at half forward, kicking a goal in the first term. But gee, their forward line players, Lucas, Lloyd and Hurd, just haven't been able to get enough marks. Interesting, Andrew Lovett kicked a couple of goals in the first quarter, looked really dangerous, and yet in that second quarter he ended up playing most of the time out wide on a wing, and they were a bit top-heavy in their forward line. They had players like Henneman, Lucas, Lloyd and Laycock up in that goal square, and that's a...
You said this was a defining moment in the game.
It is, because Ted Richards, I think he should have gone harder.
He did come off after that.
Kevin Sheedy took him from the field just after that. So not only did he not get the football, it was taken there by Chris Johnson, who set up a Brisbane goal. And Brisbane players, they thrive on that sort of thing, showing their aggression and their courage. And that was Vossi putting one through on the left foot. This has been an interesting matchup. Chris Scott playing in the forward line. He leads really well, and there he dishes off to Nigel Lappin. But Scott's taken 4 marks inside the forward 50. Jonathan Brown has taken 6. Now, that is a lot of marks to be taking in your forward 50 area. But as we said, they get it to Brown long in contest situations. He's been playing on Ted Richards. He started on Ted Richards, spent most of the first half on Dustin Fletcher. 8 kicks, 4 handballs, and he would be the #1 ranked player. And as we said, what a magnificent return to football.
Well, his contract's coming up at the end of the year, and it'll be interesting to see what Brisbane can offer and what other clubs might be prepared to offer. I think there could be a fair gap.
I would think that the most Brisbane could offer, because they've got a lot of players, good quality players. Probably $500,000.
What's he worth on the open market?
On the open market, he's close to $750,000, $800,000.
And I'm sure there's probably 3 or 4 clubs that have room at the end of the year and willing to pay that.
Well, #1, you'd go out to get him, to play him as your power forward, and #2, you'd make him captain of your team.
No one could argue against that, could they?
He's a physical presence, and players are intimidated by him. And what he's done, not one Essendon player has really served it up to him tonight. We spoke before the game about they might get in his face and make it hard for him. Haven't seen any of that.
As I said, they probably haven't got the firepower to do it. How have you rated Power's game? Probably a break-even with his 2 opponents?
Yes, I thought his first quarter was really good. When he gets it, he makes things happen, goes on that left foot. Most unselfish. We saw him chip that little one to Jonathan Brown in the first quarter. Look, he's one of the leaders of this team. And
it had a great start to the season by his lofty standards.
No, that's right. There's that little chip. First quarter, set Brown up.
Andrew Lovett, Anzac medalist on Monday, come back tonight, 2 wonderful goals.
2 wonderful goals. He's a will-o'-the-wisp. He's really quick. I would have liked to have seen him played closer to the goals in that second quarter. And I think what Kevin Sheedy's got to do in this third quarter, look, the game's not past them yet. If they can get the first 3 goals of this third quarter, they are back in the hunt. But they need to get pace in the forward line. They need to get Lloyd back at full forward. I think that's the only spot he can play.
What about the ruck work of Henneman?
Well, that's where they struggle because Laycock can't ruck all night. He's up against Keating. You just see there the dominance of a ruckman against Henneman. And I'm not critical of Henneman because he's not a ruckman. He's one of those spare parts players. And at the moment, with David Hill out of the team, they need to use him as a ruck relief. And he just can't go with the big fella there in Keating. And they've just been slaughtered at the centre clearances.
Yeah, Keating's done pretty well. I guess I said Henneman is just a part-time ruckman, so to expect Keating to dominate.
That's right.
We're going to take another break from Telstra Dome. It is the Brisbane Lions leading the Bombers by 39 points at the main break.
Carlton Draft. Made with barley, hops and attractive yeast. Brewed in a big metal thing. Put in kegs and driven around. By horses. Poured into frosty sideways glasses. And drunk in pubs. Carlton Draft. Made from beer.
So let me get this straight. You want Treadray for Goodwin?
And you want prosciutto for corns?
You drive a hard bargain, mate.
But it's a deal.
Get your kids the official AFL collector cards. Pick up the Sunday Mail this weekend for your free album.
Have a squiz at this. Home Hardware's Homemaker sale. Hey. I didn't even know Home sold homemakers.
You bonehead. Look, it's just great products at really low prices. Like this GMC Power Tool 6-pack for $99 and a Canberra handy lamp for $23.95.
Awesome. Yeah. But you can't actually buy a homemaker?
Of course you can't. It's like a garage sale. You don't buy the garage, do you?
Nah, but a dog's allowed to dream.
Where? Home Hardware.
The new Falcon Mark II SR, with over $6,000 worth of added value, including 17-inch alloys, sports body kit, automatic transmission with sequential sports shift, 6-stack CD, designer sports trim, and leather-wrapped steering wheel. You'd better be quick. Or you'll miss out. New Falcon Mark II SR, with over $6,000 of added value. Can't get enough of this.
Today, I'm with the Watson family and we're going to make a delicious butternut pumpkin soup. So, just slice it up. Thanks, kids. And pop it in the blender. That's my job, is it? Okay. You know what I think? It's probably best if we just leave it to the experts.
Campbell's, the experts in soup.
Wow. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see what they're doing there.
Win your mum a great Byron Bay getaway from Harvey Norman this Mother's Day. There are 100 3-day luxurious Byron at Byron Resort and Spa prizes to be won. Your mum can enjoy this idyllic lush rainforest setting, miles away from the day-to-day worries of life, with a getaway for 2, including a Sea of Serenity package at the Byron at Byron Day Spa. Just make a purchase of a great Mother's Day gift from Harvey Norman, fill in the entry form provided, and your mum's in the draw. Make your mum's day with Harvey Norman and the perfect hideaway. Byron at Byron Resort.
Call in for Jacob's Creek range of wines, only $6.99 each. Or get a bonus VB long neck with every carton of cans or stubbings, just $31.99. Stock up on any 2 of these for just $50. Ballantine Scotch, Canadian Club, Finlandia Vodka, Beefeater Gin, Kahlua and Southern Comfort. See boozebrothers.com.au for more great offers.
Booze Brothers. Beat the others cold.
So let me get this straight. You want Treadray for Goodwin?
And you want prosciutto for corns?
You drive a hard bargain, mate.
But it's a deal.
Get your kids the official AFL collector cards. Pick up the Sunday Mail this weekend for your free album.
It's been a good week for Marks. Check this one out.
round 5, and bomber James Hird flies high above 3 Magpies at the MCG.
And the highlights just keep coming.
Geelong's Brad Ottens displays superior use of the body on a big night for the Cats.
Takes a beauty! Acrobatic Brad Ottens in the square.
But the winner of the Toyota Mark of the Year for round 5 is Melbourne's Russell Robertson with his hanger at the SCG.
Takes hangers when it's counted. That could well be the match-winning mark. Here he is. Big bad Jonathan Brown is back in town. 5 goals in the first half. And it is the Lions leading by 39 points. As we look at the differences in the midfield. Yes, and 23 less disposals, the Essendon midfield.
Contested possessions and clearances don't look so bad, Robin. They're meant to be significant stats, aren't
Yeah,
they?
that's right. It can be misleading at times. Hit-outs is the worry, and again, I look down and they're going to start with Henneman at the centre bounce. Laycock's down there at full forward. Christy Malthouse.
Thanks, Stephen. Well, it is bad news for Ben Haynes, unfortunately. They do think that he has broken the ulnar bone and he's been taken off to Epworth Hospital to have x-rays on that. So if he has broken it, he'll be out for several weeks, which is very unfortunate for him. Just also keep an eye on Simon Black. He has been having some trouble on his quad. They've worked on it. They've put a pressure bandage on it. He does seem to be hobbling a little bit.
Just looked an awkward fall for the unlucky Haynes. Here is Brown again, but this time overrunning it. It's Brisbane by 39. Fletcher kicks long, but he kicks straight to Copeland. And Brisbane are on the march again at the start of the second half. And Lepich, who loves to run and be flamboyant, might do something really exciting. Brown's there. Lucas playing back now. Here's Voss. Kick one with the left foot in the previous quarter. Bombers rusher behind.
You know, what we just saw with Justin Lepich was quite outstanding. Running at top pace, he took a one-handed mark, didn't break stride, and with Lloyd 5 metres behind him, backed himself to take 3 bounces. Fletcher finds Bullen.
Thank you.
And out wide to Zanta. Finds McPhee.
That's him. Thanks, mate. That's him.
And not a lot to kick to. Keating just floats back. McPhee is forced to go sideways. Now Fletcher wasn't even watching. No. And fortunately he did at the right time. And the ball fell in his arms. As the Bombers switch, Rioli to Hird, who presents and takes the mark. Now, has he hurt himself? Has he done the hammy or the calf here? Looks like he's done something. Hird's in trouble. I reckon it could be a hammy. And he's coming off. Another huge body blow for the Bombers here. As Hird's going to bring himself off. It's either a hammy or a calf. And this is an enormous blow for Essendon. The skipper, you just saw him pull up. So Hird brings himself off. Just hard to pick what it was. Yep. And that means they're down to 20 players now with Ben Haynes in hospital, and James Hird, who's brought himself off. First couple of minutes of this third quarter. 2 games in 6 days, Rob. For a bloke who's now
veteran.
32. Yeah.
As dirty nights go, this one is looming as filthy for the Dons. Power has a go, but he's wide.
Just kept my eye on James Hird. They'll take him down the race. They don't want to let the world know what his problem is, so they won't work on the area that's affected. And about 3 of the Essendon medical staff have followed James Hird down the race. Could be, maybe. I mean, could calf, maybe, if you can have a bet.
Lappin,
could be.
Quickest of hands. Chris Scott around the corner. Fletcher matching Brown there. Peverill. Zantuck. McVeigh gives it back to him. Zantuck had an angry first half. You could understand him being irritable because they were being slaughtered back there. Power again. Copeland, Brad Scott. Brisbane doing it at ease. And Black delivering it right down the barrel for Jonathan Brown to line up for number 6.
And another inside 50 mark
And his transforming value to the Brisbane front half demonstrated by a simple stat. In the last 4 weeks, in which they hadn't won, they had not kicked more than 12 goals in a match. They've come out tonight and kicked 13 in the first half.
13-2, Tim, the inside 50 marks.
So number 6. And he does miss occasionally. He has 5 goals too, to margin 40.
Fletcher short to Peverill, as I'm sure Essendon fans at home waiting with bated breath to find out what's wrong with their skipper. As soon as Christy Malthouse can find out, we'll let you know. To half forward, Lloyd. Again, a long way from home, but that's a good kick. He finds Murphy, who will line up only about 35 from goal.
David Parkin regards this fellow as as straight a kick as any he's seen.
They've started this quarter with Laycock at full forward, and as we saw Lloyd playing out on the half-forward flank alongside Lucas.
So Murphy, a must-kick goal. And it just squeezed home.
Good judge, Parko.
We're here in Melbourne to relive a classic footy moment that has it all.
Now, who else could give us all this?
Well, who else but the maestro? Hey, James Hurd.
Hey, guys.
All right, so it's Essendon 131, West Coast 131. 30 minutes and 48 seconds gone. In the
Umpire doesn't ball up and it's on.
He's got it.
Hey, maybe Murphy should have kicked it. I'm not the umpire, I'm bully. Bully hits it at the head. Wait, the fairy tale's complete. James Hurd, you are a genius. Yes. Give it hard.
Jason Laycock, the young ruckman, I'd much prefer to see him in at the centre bounces. Even if he did the centre bounce and then pushed to full forward to let Henneman do the around-the-ground ruck work.
This is a vulnerable period for Brisbane. On average, they've been outscored by a couple of goals through the first 10 minutes of the third quarter in each match so far this season. And the Bombers have come out and kicked the first. Lepich plays us away here. Ackermanis and Peverill. Doughty customer, Damien Peverill, McVeigh, Solomon, Rioli. Essendon look a little better. Running into a gap is Jason Johnson.
Dean Rioli, I think, is a wonderful footballer. I'd just love to see him get fit so that he can play 100 minutes. Have a look at him. He's not fit as far as I'm concerned. He is a superb talent, a creative playmaker. And that is one of the big responsibilities of the Essendon fitness staff and Rioli himself, to get him in shape so that he can play games out.
No more Rioli-Poli.
You said it.
Jason Johnson from a tight angle. Across the face. Margin 34.
James Hurd still hasn't reappeared from the ruse. What's the bet? He comes out with a bandage on the ankle, the knee, the calf, and the thigh. To keep us all guessing.
Or sneezing. Essendon flu.
Lepich takes the mark. He's off. Goes short to Black. Black again, oh, short to Copeland. And it's a turnover. 3 Bombers there. It's Bullen who swoops. He goes out wide to Laycock. Good kick, good mark.
Yes, he had nothing to go for, Mark Bullen. And he just cast his eyes far and wide, saw Laycock out to the flank and put it to his advantage.
Let's go to Christy Malthouse with the news on James Hurd.
Thanks, Stephen. Well, the word is that it is a hamstring. We're waiting on full confirmation because, as Robert said, the doctors took him straight down to the rooms to try not to let us see. So we're waiting on full confirmation from them. But word from the bench is that it is a hamstring.
So Laycock, for the Bombers' second goal of the third term, to bring them just a little bit closer. Doesn't make the distance.
Big boy from East Devonport. Kevin Sheedy said he could be another Paul Salmon. He looks to have untold ability. A modern-day big man. Johnson's gone wide, but with precision to Brad Scott. And as statistically suggested, the Lions are just looking a little vulnerable early here. Essendon doing all the attacking. And they've only been able to kick one goal. That kick is dangerously wide. It landed. Ooh, I thought it might have landed on the line or just inside it, but the boundary umpire was in perfect position. Now Lloyd is up on the wing this time. Rioli.
He makes things happen, Rioli.
Laycock's up forward again, leading, now doubling back. Give it to him long and high, but Rioli's gone via the cape. Carl Johnson's on the end of it. Wants to get it on. Decides against.
Essendon have started this third quarter. They had two players playing forward in Lucas and Solomon for the first half. Both of them are playing in defence at the moment, and they put Rioli forward.
The banana, well executed. Good goal. Gonza coming.
Stand by for Australia's best broadband offer. Big Kahuna Broadband from Primus. Unlimited broadband internet for a mere $5.95 per week. Yes, unlimited broadband surfing for just $5.95 per week. Plus, there's no setup costs and a broadband modem at half price. Simply bundle your home phone and internet with Primus and you're on board. Big Kahuna Broadband. This has to be Australia's best broadband offer. Call 1300 Primus now. Hurry, offer ends June 2nd.
James Hird in picture. Wouldn't expect to see him out there for the rest of the game. Laycock has finally come in to do the ruck work.
So the Bombers fighting back at the dome, and here they come again. Bullen runs to 55, goes to the goal square. Rioli from the side. It's a rush behind.
Johnson to Black. It's all defence at the moment for the Lions.
Young Mark Bullen playing on Simon Black.
Brown decides to restore some sanity.
Now he's run 60 metres to take that mark.
On the defensive side of the wing. Moody. And Brisbane build dangerously, but the Bomber defence holds firm. Peverill to Welsh. Now Murphy. Stats have held up for another week. In the first 10 minutes of the quarter, Brisbane outscored 15-2 by 13 points. Murphy keeps coming. That's a good placement for Lloyd.
And you called it, Tim. It was a good placement. Murphy, Rioli and little Andrew Lovett, the three of them going into the forward line to start this third quarter has given the Bombers a bit of a buzz. Veterans in Solomon and Lucas have gone to the half-back line, out of the forward line, and what we've seen, we saw Laycock take the last centre bounce to help Essendon get the important clearance. He then pushes forward to play at full forward, and the man with the footy is playing out across the half-forward line.
Rioli gave him a short option, which he ignored. Responsibility now to kick it from outside 50, and he does it like the specialist goal kicker he is.
If blondes have more fun...
You're so beautiful.
Then why isn't she laughing? Just what are you taking home tonight? Compelling Criminal Intent, 8:30 Sunday. Then they will lose an agent.
So hard when it's one of your own.
Sunday is a movie-length NCIS following Criminal Intent. Sunday on 10.
Bombers fighting back at Telstra Dome. How's this for a telling stat? Inside, marks inside 50. Essendon 2 in the first half. They've got already 5 in the third quarter.
Yeah, Lucas there playing on Matthew Moody.
McVeigh at the bottom of the pack. Ackermanis pinches it. Just bashes it forward. Pike attacks it. Hands a little bit too slick for Sherman. He has another go at it. Lovett swoops to pace as he bangs it on the left boot. But only as far as Joel McDonald. He goes short to Pike. He's come on to replace Voss.
And Pikey just fired off a couple of bullet-like handballs at his mates. They were just too hard.
Good kick. He looks pumped, Martin Pike. Then he finds Brown. Gives a little dish to Ackermanis. To the tip of the goal square. Scott in front. Power. Has he missed his chance? No, he hasn't. He kicks a goal and cops one. So the Lions get one back as James Hird watches on. He's got a hamstring iced, we're led to believe. Can't see it.
He does.
Thanks, Christy. And there's Power, second go at it.
It was quick, wasn't it? Super quick, just the goal that Brisbane needed after those first three by the Bombers.
And the old firm, Brown the mark. Very quick give to Ackermanis was a good play because it created disorganisation within the Essendon defence, and out of that, Power was able to kick the goal. Laycock doing pretty well. Peveril not able to get boot to ball, and Sherman gives Brisbane another shot, and Chris Scott almost. Oh, Brown making his presence felt in there. Still alive. Scott to Power, who'll kick him up. Umpire let it go for a long time, and rightly the ball came out, and Brisbane were on the right end of it.
Just have a feeling Ty Zantuck kept that ball alive. You can have a look here, ball on the ground, Zantuck coming in. Over the ball, Zantuck, well, he's worried about being pinged. And the pressure is on the defenders there to get that ball out. They cannot sit on it. And Luke Power, 2 goals in 30 seconds.
So a bit of sting taken out of the Essendon comeback. Rioli gets run down. Richard Shelley's in there, the second gamer. Played a game late last season. Black sits down for a break.
Michael Voss on the bench for Brisbane just had the 5 disposals.
McVeigh to Jason Johnson. Long ball. Lloyd against Michael. Taps it to Mark Johnson. Now back to Lloyd. He's run down by Michael. And a free kick, says the umpire. And it's going Matthew Lloyd's way. No, Michael can't believe it. Oh, off the ball, a very, very big block.
It's against McPhee.
Yeah.
McPhee put a Brisbane player down at the top of the goal square. It will be reversed.
McPhee for a shepherd.
And you heard the umpire say it was a McPhee shepherd.
And Mel Michaels sums up the situation quickly. Puts the ball in front of Notting. Pike there to help him. And Brown, dangerous. Fletcher doing a good job of tying him up. 2 great campaigners battling that one out. And Fletcher sharing the honours.
And you can just see McPhee putting the block, the bump onto Leppich. Leppich absolutely delighted about that. Plays it up. He's full worth.
There.
Solomon on defensive 50.
They've just got to keep attacking Essendon. Look, they were very good the first 8 minutes of this third quarter. Got their 3 goals. They've just got to keep moving the ball quickly because that will worry Brisbane. OK, Brisbane have played well the first half. Moving it in quickly will put Brisbane under the pump. Brisbane haven't played well all year.
Lucas to Rioli, who kicks a long ball inside 50. Big fist once again by Michael. Leppich got pushed in the back. Umpire let it go. Well played by McDonald. Got it to Pike, who's playing some valuable minutes since he's come on, Martin Pike. Got it to Johnson, to Lappin. Now Moody in his first game. Long kick, one out. Brown and Fletcher. Again, beautifully done by Fletcher. And Lucas, front and centre, gets Essendon out of trouble.
The Bombers have lifted, even though they've given a couple of goals back, but that wasn't good from Murphy. And McDonald takes it comfortably and sets up Ackermanis. Dangerous from there. Oh, he is a phenomenon.
Oh, thanks.
That was refreshing.
Yeah. I think it's a lime.
Bundaberg rum, dry and lime. Surprisingly refreshing taste.
We've seen some vintage Jonathan Brown. That was vintage Jason Ackermanis, who probably has been Brisbane's most consistent player this year. He's got 2 goals.
It's actually good to see him spending more time up the ground, isn't it? He's become pretty much a half-forward flanker.
McVeigh, great kick to McPhee.
Essendon came out, 3 quick goals, answered by Brisbane with 3 goals. They need to get this one to get their nose in front for the quarter.
There's the Bomber bench. 2 players gone for the match. Haynes has gone to hospital for x-rays on the suspected broken arm. Hurd's done the hamstring.
And Essendon battling with a record of fade-outs in final quarters.
They've won 9 of their last 32 final quarters.
And none this year. Kicked 2 goals this season in his 5 games, Adam McPhee. 36 in his 75-game career.
Stand by for Australia's best broadband offer. Big Kahuna Broadband from Primus. Unlimited broadband internet for a mere $5.95 per week. Yes, unlimited broadband surfing for just $5.95 per week. Plus, there's no setup costs and a broadband modem at half price. Simply bundle your home phone and internet with Primus and you're on board. Big Kahuna Broadband. This has to be Australia's best broadband offer. Call 1300 Primus now. Hurry, offer ends June 2nd.
Sitting in the cooler, John Barnes.
When's his time up?
I think he'll be back next week, won't he?
I thought his time was up.
Oh, maybe he could go in the ruck.
Laycock getting a hand to it at ground level. Sherman for a moment. Still no takeaway. At last, Adcock gives Brisbane the stat for the clearance. Power to Brad Scott. Careful placement to his twin brother and to the big boy, the big brother. And big brother is watching over all of them.
That's his 12th mark. And Joel Reynolds just cannot keep up with Luke Power. Power spent most of this 3rd quarter playing in the forward line for Brisbane, kicked a couple of goals, was first onto the footy, first onto the loose ball, and he set that one up. Voss coming onto the ground. And Lappin having a spell.
His kicking has been very good tonight. He has 6 goals too.
You get more for your dollar at Bunnings Warehouse every day. 4-pack energy-saving globes, only $9.98. Assorted Azito tools, a low $29.95 each. Aluminium work platform, just $59. British 4-litre in-colour interior acrylic, great value at $49.80. 2-kilo lawn repair kit, only $9.98. 8pm power board, pack of 2, just $7.50. Combination spanners, $1 each.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
At that centre bounce for Brisbane, there's young Justin Sherman. He's alongside Ackermanis, Keating and Voss, all triple premiership players.
Gutsy stuff from McVeigh, as we'll have a bounce.
Umpire Meredith saying he didn't dive on the ball. At times this season he might have been pinged for that and it would have been a total injustice.
Yeah, he certainly put his body on the line there. Our Ackermanis, the left footer, out to Brown, he's got it!
What a super mark.
What a super kick and a great diving mark.
I reckon that's his best mark of the night. The best mark of the night. And it was a quick left footer by Ackermanis.
The umpire was in perfect position.
That's a mark. That's a mark.
Umpire was in absolutely perfect condition.
I think it would have been paid as a catch in Test cricket had it been subjected to close examination.
Yes, that's a mark.
Brown has got 6.
His career best is 7.
Well, this is an extraordinary performance from a bloke who hasn't played since the last Saturday, last September, who had knee surgery. He's had to sit out the Wizard Cup and the first 5 games.
He kicked 7 against Geelong in round 6, 2001. And he thus equals that. And you'd imagine that he might go 1, 2 or even more better. A commanding return. And a frisson of fear sent down the spine of every defender in the competition, I would think.
And he's going for a personal best. Most number of marks he's ever taken in a game of league football is 17. So far he's taken 13.
That was against Hawthorn at the MCG.
And they've got that for most of this third quarter. Brown has been playing at full forward. He's been right back there near the goal square. All his movement comes from the goal square. Fletcher is his opponent. And Essendon they haven't got anyone else who can play on him. Fletcher's the man. It's just the quality of ball and his own brilliance is too good.
Rioli, sweet contact off the ground. Richards, Reynolds. Good quick hands for Jason Johnson. Notting applying pressure. And Johnson couldn't get the kick right. Margin 44. Essendon got to within 20 earlier in the quarter, but it's blown out again. And their chance, you would think, is all gone.
Rioli off, Lovett on for Essendon, and McVeigh off. And Bullen back on. Keating couldn't hang on to it. Johnson fires the handball to Voss. Notting comes into the picture to Adcock. Now to Voss. He goes long. He's looking for Brown, who's now being marked by Zanta. And Jonathan Brown will go back from 35 metres out directly in front for goal number 8.
Quick kick, direct kick to a contest situation because they know that their man is bigger, stronger and better than the opposition. He started on Richards, he's played on Fletcher. Zantuck's just been moved on to him. Mark number 14.
Well, they've got some amazing players, Brisbane. But this man is the king of the jungle.
Hello, Moto.
Not much he can do against the power of Jonathan Brown. Margin 50. Not only is it Brown's best ever goal-kicking performance in an AFL match, this is as commanding a performance, I would think, as anything even Wayne Carey might ever have produced.
Gee, Henneman should have kept eyes on that footy.
Mark Johnson gives Lovett half a chance. Half's often all he needs. This isn't bad. It hasn't quite got the carry.
And there's the size difference. And Voss is just yap, yap, yap into Henneman's ear.
That's it there. That's it there. Thanks. Moving on. Me.
No mark, so here's a chance for Henneman. Did well to get boot to ball into the pocket. Lloyd. Copeland want to concede the point.
Brisbane have moved Power.
Lovett hurt himself.
Power onto the ball, and Ackermanis is pushed up into the forward line. And that's the last thing the Bombers need, is to lose another player, already with 2 missing, Haynes and Hurd.
Henneman boxing Keating out, but missing with the shot. So it's another behind. The scoring shots are 25 to 22, not really reflective of the state of the game. Another scoring oddity tonight is that Brisbane have kicked 19-6. 4 of the behinds have been rushed. The only 2 that have come off the boot of Jonathan Brown. 8 goals too, but he's the only man to have missed all night. Tough.
And Lovett is holding his wrist. He is in a bit of trouble.
James Hird with a hamstring. Beautiful tap by Laycock to Mark Johnson. Lloyd against Michael. Now Johnson. Good tackle, Richards. Umpire very generous, calling play on. Didn't matter, they love it off the ground. Could have picked it up.
Did
It's
all the
always
hard,
easy up here.
He did all the hard work. And just a bit casual in the end. Good tackling by Richards.
And Matthew Lloyd not happy.
Yeah, no, wasted a goal. Wasted a goal there, and they cannot get it right, the Bombers.
It was a pity, wasn't it? He's been terrific tonight. His endeavour has been outstanding, Andrew Lovett, but just for a moment he got casual, as Rob said. Kevin Sheedy's come down early. Would have been encouraged by the first 10 minutes of the quarter, but not by the last 20. Quarter almost gone. The match well and truly gone for the Dons. Chris Johnson. Oh dear. The error's just starting to flow. It's been great to see the old champions respond tonight. The Lions, they have come snarling back.
And there's the Brisbane runner, Marcus Ashcroft, the 300-game veteran, triple premiership player.
Lovett in the midst of it again, and the Johnsons. Mark just about had his head torn off his shoulders and will be given a chance to come back. Matthew Head telling him just where the mark is.
Luke
and he's
Power
quite right.
went down off the ball, and he wasn't happy about it.
50!
Well, he's been caught as the remonstrator.
50-metre penalty.
Well, you saw it, Quarters.
I didn't know. All I saw was Power went down. I didn't see. Obviously, Bolton was the player that put him down. How he put him down, I don't know. But Power got straight up and remonstrated with Bolton, but he was caught, and subsequently has been given the 50.
Well, there's the remonstration, which the umpire saw.
Not a peaceful remonstration.
And the runner's gone straight out to Luke Power and said, come off. He's had a brilliant third quarter, but just shows the disciplines. He's let himself down with that bit of action.
Mark Johnson kicked a tougher one than that earlier in the quarter. He has 3 for the night, but the margin is still a hefty 41 points.
And
Power on the phone.
Yes, the phone. Marcus Ashcroft handing him the phone. And I'm sure Lee Matthews would be saying, don't undo your good work.
I think he'd have some constructive advice, like there are other ways of taking it out on him.
Up the other end of the ground, while all that's been going on, Zantuck and Brown have just been having a casual chat to each other.
Brisbane by 41. Laycock did it nicely. Gee, he's got some athleticism for a big fella. His kick finds Reynolds. Good strong mark by McPhee, who plays on and bangs from 50. Holds his hands on his head. Said, what was I thinking?
And it was interesting because there were 3 seconds left on the clock. He actually executed the play as though he knew that there were just a handful of seconds left. Are players that aware now, Rob? Are there signals given that let them know?
There are signals, but it's more minutes, not seconds. So they'd be told, 4 minutes to go or 2 minutes to go.
They won't get another chance. That's 3/4 time. Early signs of a revival came to nothing, and Brisbane lead by 40 points at the last change.
7 goals, 6 goals, 6 goals to the Brisbane Lions.
The Bombers did well, really, when you consider they kicked 5 goals in that quarter.
And they got the first 3. They did come out and do it well. But, gee, that man, Jonathan Brown, what a fantastic target to aim at.
They got 5, all right. The trouble is Brisbane got 6.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, an unmissable night of drama with all new medium and a very special SVU.
At 8:30, a 40-year mystery comes back to haunt her. All new medium.
Then, which one of them will come face to face with death?
Who will it be? Will they survive? Who will it be?
An unmissable SVU after Medium, Wednesday.
Right now at Red Rooster, you can get 2 combos for $11. Choose from the strip sub, crispy fillet burger, rooster roll or flavour combo. And you'll get dinner for 2 for $11. But who will you take? Rush to Red Rooster now.
Let's start with something fresh and juicy.
Basically, if there are traffic lights on that side of town, they ain't on.
Some celebrities on toast.
I'd like to see Darren Inch and Pauline Hanson dancing together.
Or perhaps a hard-boiled comment.
But the story is actually about a relationship post-trauma.
Oh, got to have roughage.
Watch out, I'll have a crack at the doggies if you're not careful.
Just surprise me.
Don't come near me, I will.
Have a 5-star breakfast Monday to Friday. $13.95, Adelaide's 5AA.
Sit down, fat lady. It ain't time to sing.
And please do not tap on the glass.
You've been popular too if you're offering great rates to your small business mates. Now, not only legendary Ford deals on light commercials, but eligible small businesses can make extra fleet savings on a wide range of Ford passenger and SUV vehicles. Extra choice, extra fleet savings. Great rates for our small business mates. Only from your mates at Ford.
Big savings on a big range of hardware during the Stratco Big Sale. Bonus $50 gift voucher with the entire range of Stratco garden sheds. Houston energy-saving lamp just $4.50. Heritage fencing from a low $59.95 a metre. Stratco post and rail fencing only $30.65 a metre. And Laserlight 2000 polycarbonate roofing only $14.25 a metre.
What you need today?
It's big.
Right now at Red Rooster, you can get 2 combos for $11. Choose from the strip sub, crispy fillet burger, rooster roll or flavour combo. And you'll get dinner for 2 for $11. But who will you take? Rush to Red Rooster now.
Network 10 Adelaide would like to acknowledge the support of their 2005 local AFL sponsors. Truscott's and Toshiba, the Plasma LCD and surround sound specialists. Booze Brothers, proudly South Australian owned. And Stratco, what do you need today?
And Lucas, front and centre, gets Essendon out of trouble.
The Bombers have lifted, even though they've given a couple of goals back. Oh, that wasn't good for Murphy. And McDonald takes it comfortably and sets up Ackerman. Is dangerous from there. Oh, he is a phenomenon.
Well, it's been a dodgy week on the share market. It's been dodgy if you've owned Lions and Bombers stocks. But at the moment, the Brisbane Lions, the recommendation is definitely buy. Buy, buy, buy. 40-point leaders over Essendon. And the reason why you'd buy him tonight is because of that man, Jonathan Brown. What a comeback. He's had 20 disposals, 14 marks, and has kicked 8 goals too. As we go to Christy Malthouse. We'll go to Christy shortly. The big news for Bombers, of course, is that James Hird has done the hamstring and that Ben Haynes has gone to hospital for x-rays on a suspected broken arm.
Yes, not much right has gone for the Bombers tonight, but that's the one that's the worst when their skipper and their inspiration, and that you would think that he would miss 3 weeks of football at least.
Christy,
Thanks, Stephen. Sorry, I was trying to check with the Bombers doctors about James Hird. It is his hamstring, and gee, he looks really dejected. He was trying to talk to some of his players during that huddle, but he looked like he couldn't even do that. He's so down in the dumps about it. But the other player to look at for the Bombers is Dean Rioli. I was just watching him then as well limp off. He was stretching both his legs when he was out there, but he's just limped off the ground and will start on the bench.
And there's another injured Bomber, Adam Ramanauskas, out for the year with the reconstruction. And that's one man who definitely deserves some luck. And he makes his comeback in 2006. We start the final term, Brisbane by 40.
Nice round figures to work with, 25 scoring shots each. And Brisbane lead by 40 points, and what a takeaway. Lappin, and it slewed off the side of the boot. He put a lovely bounce on it. Unfortunately for Brisbane, Welsh was the only man running onto it. Another rush behind for the Lions. They have 5 of them, and Jonathan Brown remains the only Lion to have missed the target tonight. He's kicked their only 2 behinds off the boot.
It's bombs away for Fletcher, but it's marked nicely by McLaren, who finds Voss in the true centre-half forward position. Now, the big interest here, I guess, is if Brown can reach double figures. He's got 8. Was he pushed? No. Lucas shrugs the tackle and delivers back to the wing, and that's a strong grab taken by Jason Johnson. Disposal number 18 as he hits Aaron Henneman on the chest. He wastes no time. Lloyd's one out with Michael over both their heads.
Matty Lloyd just stops chasing. Have a look at that. Mel Michaels followed up, got the footy, and Matthew Lloyd has just stopped where the ball went over his head. Now he's got to get some second and third efforts into his game.
This is Moody, the first gamer. One of a couple of first gamers. Brisbane went in tonight with 5 teenagers. Compare that to the grand final last year when Hadley at 21 was the youngest. Voss under siege. Solomon threads it nicely. But Sherman made a very good fist of tying it up.
And let's have a look at this. They go for the mark, goes over the top. Matty Lloyd looks at the umpire. Is there a free kick? You've got to stop doing that. And Mel Michael immediately follows up and gets his hands on the ball.
Henneman at the bottom of the pack, going nowhere.
Brisbane dragged it in.
Henneman against McLaren. Sherman at the bottom. Gathered by McPhee. Kicks a high ball inside 50. Adcock against Mark Johnson. Michael again hits the boundary line. 50 from Essendon's goal. The Lions bench.
And big span to man, just the 22 minutes of action. Still using Simon Black sparingly. I think he's just working his way into full fitness. This is the fellow I've been impressed with. Sherman.
Justin Sherman's kick.
Sherman. It's becoming the umpire's friend.
The umpires already have got a nickname for him, Tim. He's arrived.
I can think of a better one. It's pretty obvious. Voss. Finds Moody.
You should like Sherman to be built like Jonathan Brown, wouldn't you? Just so you could use that one liberally, Quarters.
Moody short. Oh! Brad Scott spilt the beans. Now Fletcher to half forward, but only as far as Johnson, who plays on. Adcock to Lappin. Back to Sherman. Sherman just bumps it on the boot. That's all Essendon. Mark taken by Lucas.
Switch was on there. Murphy and Jason Johnson to take it away for the Dons. An awful mess of that. And now the turnover is complete. Voss to Power. Time to have a look, but not the placement he was after. Peverill has fought valiantly.
Always
Lucas,
does.
He does, doesn't he?
He's got McPhee in a bit of space.
And that's where Murphy goes. Now, will McPhee try and do an Ackermanis? I don't think anybody can really do the Ackermanis, but I'll tell you what, he did very well for Mark Johnson, who should kick his fourth.
And he's tried hard too, Mark Johnson.
Great kick.
And Mel Michael made him earn it.
Well, the odds just about on a miss here. The two teams between them have kicked 19-5 from set shots. Roof closed, of course, lovely conditions, and I tip this. He fights on, and he kicks it behind. Mike Williamson, eat your heart out.
So the margin 40 points, which was the difference at three-quarter time as Johnson prepares to bring it back in. Plenty of big stories out of tonight. Richards takes the mark, goes sideways to Bullen. Lions getting lots of numbers back. Jason Johnson, handball smothered. McVeigh goes at it.
Handball.
Lucas. Now Reynolds against Ackermanis. Sherman again. Pike. As the Lions build, marked by Chris Scott. And his kick finds Moody. His kick smothered. Solomon ran into a wall of Lions. Had to give it up. Ackermanis back to Voss, who lost it. Quick kick into open spaces. Moody, there's a couple of Lions there. One of them Scott, and Chris Scott from a standing start has kicked a goal.
There will be only one Big Brother house.
Of course.
The rules have not changed.
You could say that.
There are no nasty surprises.
Big Brother will get back to you.
Would Big Brother ever lie?
Assume nothing. Expect anything.
And there's Matthew Lloyd. He missed the opening couple of games with that broken arm. He's played 4 games and kicked 7 goals in the 4 games. His career average is close to 4 goals a game, which is just wonderful. But he is out of touch at the moment.
He's only taken 2 marks. Murphy to Jason Johnson to Richards. Was good for the Dons. Now Lloyd's gone up the ground. Mark Johnson might have been the guilty party there, I'd have thought. He's claiming that it was the other way around.
Dean Rioli back on the ground for us, and he's had both his legs worked on. He looks okay now.
Well, if anything, I thought the free kick was Adcock's way. Throw in probably a fair result. Laycock, Henneman, no one. Richards. McPhee, good snare, good tackle by Notting. Rioli, Mark Johnson. Great anticipation by Leppich.
He's had a great game, Justin Leppich.
Power.
To the running Ackermanis. Not a lot to kick to. Brown gets there, sets himself. Almost could have been a free kick to Brown. Umpire let it go. He's had enough, said the umpire. Let's not get greedy. Fletcher, under pressure, did well. As he switches to the city side of the ground and finds Peverill. Long kick to the wing. Henneman. McVeigh. It's got Rioli on short. And Jason Johnson. Looking for Mark Johnson. Solomon. Leppich was desperate. Now Solomon off the ground. That's not 15. Michael's forced a handball, and he does it brilliantly to McDonald.
Solomon needed to kick that because he'd pinched it from Mark Johnson, who was probably going to complete a second grab mark.
Jonathan Brown has been taken off.
Richard Telly, Chris Scott, Can he kick a fourth? Not this time. He's too far out. He does nicely for Notting to go back and line them up, and you'd have your money on him from there. That's if you haven't spent it all buying Brisbane shares.
Jonathan Brown, 20 disposals, 14 marks, 8 goals too. 7 of those marks contested. What a wonderful return to league football.
Notting, kick 1 coming out of defence in the opening quarter. 50 is his range. Always right.
And for Jonathan Brown to come back into league football and have 20 disposals, take all of those contested marks, he must have worked really hard on his fitness and his conditioning.
I guess if you're suspended, you're able to do that more readily than an injured player, aren't you? But
well, you
lack match conditioning.
And I reckon he'd want to pay back to his teammates the fact that he's just been out missing while they've gone through this horror 4-game losing stretch.
I'll tell you what, I hope they're negotiating with management at the moment, the Brisbane Lions, with Brown's management. He's out of contract. What can they offer him compared to perhaps some of the lesser clubs have got big bank balances at the end of the year?
It'll be interesting, won't it? But he owes the club because he's been a part of a great era. He's been part of history.
It's very hard, though, I guess, when you, as I said, you potentially could probably earn $300,000 more a season.
I'm sure he could, Quarters, but I don't think he'd be tempted by that. I think he sees himself as a Lion for his career. His father played for Fitzroy, Brian. He's been part of this wonderful... That boundary umpire's having real trouble throwing it in. That's his second lousy throw in 2 minutes.
He's been told to do it again. Oh, Wolsey, now you've set him up. Look, he's in close-up.
Oh, well, it's been a long day.
It's a slippery ball. Players have fumbled it tonight.
You'll get this one right.
In it comes. Back of the pack. Lepic to Ackermanis. He's waving his arms. He's going to do this. He's had about 4 bounces. On the left boot, inside 50. No Brown to kick to. He's off having a breather. I'm going to throw in.
And on the interchange for Brisbane, Voss, Black, Brown, McLaren.
.55 from the Lions' goal. Welsh.
Gee, there's a Lion down.
Yeah, Copeland. I think he collided with Lovett.
Who went in very courageously. He's very light, but he did not flinch then, and he came out on top. Peverill giving it. Richards threading it forward to Laycock. Lloyd doubling back. Should be able to kick a goal here. He does.
Ooh. Nice play. Whoops. There it is.
Are you guys okay?
Classic.
So Copeland's okay. It's Brisbane by 41. Keating again dominant in the ruck. Peverill's had a great night for Essendon. It's touch number 21. Jason Johnson. He's also got 21. To Lucas. Henneman just in time with Notting bearing down. Lions got a lot of numbers back inside defensive 50. Michael stood his ground, couldn't take them up. Johnson. Good handball. McDonald didn't panic. Notting. And this is Moody.
It's good for the young Lions to enjoy a game of football, because for the last month they haven't been able to.
Well, what's he done here? Moody playing his first game of footy. Bit ginger behind play, but it looks okay. Pike, good pass to Chris Scott.
Oh, that's 50.
Let him go, Ty. Let him go. To mark, right?
He's lucky.
Right there. It's in the contest.
What Chris Scott does is lead up into the football. He really hits it at full tilt. Makes it very hard for a defender to get a fist on it.
It was touched off the boot. Keating. Handballs to Pike, and it goes back to where it started. To Scott. Good kick. Copeland dropped it. Notting. The big right foot snap is way offline.
He's the only man other than Brown to have kicked it behind for Brisbane tonight, and that time he went one worse. Missed the lot. Further exasperation for Mark Johnson.
Voss on, Brad Scott off.
And Lee Matthews afforded the luxury of just rotating at will at the moment, and as he would choose it, rather than having terms dictated to him by the state of the game. Another throw in. Robert Shaw made an interesting point during the week that Essendon, because of this appalling last quarter record, have had to really start thinking about their rotations, that they're observing other teams as a matter of course rotating star players off. It's not something that Sheedy has wanted to do, but scientifically they're having to consider it as possibly an imperative.
It's interesting, Tim. You go back many years ago, 15 years ago, Kevin Sheedy used the interchange bench more than other coaches. Now other coaches are using it a lot more than Sheeds. And of course the interchange bench has gone from 2 to 3 to 4 in that period.
McPhee giving it away to Pike. Sting out of the game now. Welsh for Essendon. Been a good player for them this year. He's been among their 3 top possession earners for the year. Murphy to Mark Johnson. And the Johnsons often on the end of each other's work. Not out of blood relationship, just instinct and perhaps the statistics. They get the ball a lot between them. McVeigh. Henneman.
Stay clear, stay clear.
It's a little dangerous, but it was well executed, and Bolton can line them up.
Well, it's about 5 marks in a row to the Bombers. Just be good for them to finish off with a goal.
Sheedy would wish James Hird was part of a rotation at the moment, and that was why he was sitting on the bench. But if you've joined us late, he seemed to twinge a hamstring in the 3rd quarter. And he's out of the game, and perhaps out of another 1 or 2. And Ben Haynes is going to be out of a few by the look of it with a broken arm. Bolton, quiet night from on the 50. Missing. The Bombers have kicked 12-16 from 28 shots. Brisbane have kicked 20 goals 8 from the same number for a 40-point lead.
And Chris Johnson to bring it back in. He said the Sting well and truly out of this game now. But there's been plenty of big stories. The comeback from Jonathan Brown. Unfortunately, the suspected broken arm to Ben Haynes, and a hamstring injury to James Hird. Bombers travel to Sydney next week for the big game at Telstra Stadium. Now the Brisbane Lions host the Western Bulldogs at the Gabba. I wonder who Rodney Eads penciled in for centre half back, Rob.
On Jonathan Brown. Yeah. We've gone almost 20 minutes in this last quarter. Both teams have kicked 1 goal, 2 apiece. It's been Essendon's worst quarter for some time. I would think Lee Matthews would be a little disappointed. He'd be delighted with the way that his team's gone about things, and obviously pleased with the way that Brown has played, Black, Voss, Lappin, and his youngsters. But I'm sure he'd be keen to have his team finish on a strong note. And I would think that the message would have gone out in the next, whatever it might be, 6 minutes of play, really put the foot down and finish strongly.
Lappin's run down. Henneman from 45. Missed everything.
Aaron Henneman and Mark Bolton, 2 shots at goal in the last 2 minutes and 2 very ordinary efforts, and they've been at Essendon a fair while now.
Clear free kick to Leppich, advantage call as it falls for Martin Pike.